Welcome to the local circus, or as I like to call it, the absolute state of this restaurant in Hunan where gossip is the main course.
Look at this absolute unit making a gourmet meal look like a survival challenge, while everyone else tries not to choke on their tea.
Stacks of plates higher than my student debt, and this man is sobbing like he just watched the series finale of his favorite drama.
He is violently forcing food down his throat while crying enough to flood the room, and honestly, the bystanders are just waiting for him to explode.
Someone in the crowd finally recognizes this weeping mountain of grease, and trust me, the reveal is actually legendary. This is Yong Warin, the former Grand Merchant of the Sky Ocean Merchant Union, who basically owned every coin in Hunan.
He used to be a charismatic heartthrob, but now he is just a walking tragedy buried under layers of grief and cheap calories.
Warin confesses that the second he stops chewing, the nightmares of his past come back, to bite him harder than a toxic ex. All that gold and those gaudy jewels. Just shiny band-aids for a massive emotional wound that is currently bleeding all over the floor. Even in his carriage, surrounded by riches that could buy a small country, Warin feels like his life is a total zero. He is trying to mask the trauma with gluttony, but the void in his heart is clearly bigger than his appetite.
Yanawa still calls him young master because she is the real MVP, refusing to let the memory of the Tianzhong clan die. Warin looks at her and realizes she is not just a servant, she is the only family he has left in this miserable world. If it weren't for her, he would have checked out a long time ago, especially after how things ended with his original clan.
Flashback time.
Young Warin was a massive rebel who despised his family and hated his father more than Mondays. He even sent a cold, lifeless statue of himself to his father just to say stay away, effectively ghosting his entire martial arts lineage.
To escape his clan, he basically sold himself into an arranged marriage with the Sky Ocean Merchant Union, thinking he was winning.
But karma came for him when the Dabi sect turned his home into a giant bonfire, annihilating the Tianzhong clan while he watched.
Standing in the flames, he finally realized the ultimate irony. He loved the father he spent his whole life pretending to hate.
That regret turned him into the mess we see today, but suddenly, he decides he's done being a professional mourner.
He makes a solemn vow to Yanawa to lose the weight, fix his life, and actually be the man she deserves.
He is ready for his redemption arc, smiling for the first time in ages, but the universe is about to throw a massive no at him. A catastrophic impact shatters the building without warning, and the horror on Warin's face says it all as everything collapses.
Debris rains down like a judgment, and Warin watches his last reason for living, Yanawa, get crushed under the wreckage.
Amidst the dust, a decrepit old man crawls out. It is the demonic master, and he looks like he just lost a fight with a lawnmower.
This old monster was betrayed by the Blood Demon Castle, and his organs are currently doing a disappearing act.
Warin is absolutely livid, screaming at this dying parasite for bringing his violent mess into their lives and killing Yanawa. The demonic master doesn't care about Warin's feelings. He just needs a new body before his heart decides to stop beating.
With a ruthless pressure point strike, the old man paralyzes our merchant, deciding that even a pig body is better than being dead.
Warin can only watch in frozen terror as the monster prepares to hijack his existence for a second chance at life. He initiates the forbidden spirit possession technique, and the air starts to taste like pure, concentrated evil. 160 years of martial essence and a soul full of malice are about to be shoved into Warin's body. True Chi floods his left hand while the master's spirit invades his right, starting a fight for the driver's seat of his soul. Warin might look like a simp for food, but his willpower is surprisingly built different, and he refuses to go down without a fight. He is screaming internally, fighting the parasite that is trying to erase his very being while the world around them burns. The demonic master is shocked by the resistance, but he is pushing through, determined to steal this life at any cost. Suddenly, a mysterious enemy strikes from the shadows, ending the demonic master's wretched life right in the middle of the ritual. The transfer gets violently interrupted, and Warin's consciousness gets sucked into a void darker than my sense of humor. Everything dissolves into a chaotic mess of red energy and screams as the merchant's soul hangs in the balance.
He fades away, thinking this is the end of his pathetic story, but destiny has a much weirder plan for him.
He opens his eyes, and instead of fire and blood, he sees a quiet room and tastes medicine that's bitter enough to kill a horse. Confused doesn't even cover it. He looks at his hands, and they don't feel like the hands of a man who just ate a whole cow. The door creaks open and Waren's heart nearly stops when he sees a very young, very alive Yanawa walking in.
She asks if he had another nightmare, but he is too busy trying to figure out if he's actually dead or just hallucinating.
To prove this isn't some cruel dream, he steps on a sharp piece of debris barefoot, because pain is the ultimate reality check. The sting is real, and the realization hits him harder than that building did. He is back in the past, and he is young again.
He looks at that same statue he sent to his father, and Yanawa confirms it was only placed 5 days ago.
This is it. He has exactly 3 years before the Tianzhong clan gets wiped off the map by the Dabi sect. The mountain of grief is gone, replaced by a man who has seen the end of the world and is ready to rewrite it. No more running, no more hiding behind gold and food. It is time to actually be the young master they all believed in. He looks at his reflection and sees the eyes of a survivor who won't let his family burn to ash a second time. The countdown has started, and Waren is about to show the world that a merchant with nothing to lose is the most dangerous man alive. He vows to protect his people and the Tianzhong clan at all costs, even if he has to burn the whole world down to do it.
The Dabi sect won't know what hit them when they meet a man who has already lived through their victory and is here to take it back.
Forget the Grand Merchant. The legendary demonic master's essence is inside him, and he is ready to unleash hell to save his home.
Welcome to the Hunan Mountains, where the legendary Tianzhong clan used to be the biggest deal in the martial world.
They had dragons, they had fame, and they had everyone shaking in their boots. But fast forward to now?
This clan has basically crumbled into a sad little pile of dust that nobody respects anymore.
Meet our resident stressed-out dad, Yongbyong. He has spent the last 30 years watching his family legacy circle the drain.
He is crying over his tea because they have not produced a single expert since the Supreme Dragon era.
Honestly, the only thing this clan is supreme at lately is being a total disappointment.
Byong is pinning all his hopes on his son Waren, which is hilarious because the kid absolutely loathes him. It is a total family disaster, and the local people do not even pretend to be nice about it anymore. The clan is just a shadow of its former self, and the shade is getting darker by the second. Talk about a toxic household.
Wherein his stepmother is over here drowning in guilt for remarrying too fast, while Waren is out in the garden being the ultimate king of petty. This mad lad literally put a cold stone statue in the yard and told her to talk to that instead of him.
If that is not a massive red flag, I don't know what is. Suddenly, the peaceful tea time is nuked.
A servant girl named Yanawa comes charging in, crying her eyes out like it is the end of the world. She drops the bombshell that young Master Waren has managed to knock himself out.
Everyone is panicking, thinking the fragile heir finally kicked the bucket.
While his parents are losing their minds, Waren is trapped in a classic childhood dreamland.
He is back at a waterfall, catching koi fish and living his best life while his mother watches from the sidelines.
It is all sunshine and rainbows until you remember this is a manhwa, and things are about to get real ugly. Little Waren is so proud of his big fish, but the vibe shifts instantly.
The water turns cold, the colors fade, and his mother's warm smile starts looking a lot more like a predatory grin. This is not a happy memory, it is a straight-up psychological horror show designed to break him. The dream mother goes full psycho mode. She starts mocking him, calling him a pathetic weakling and telling him to stop those damned tears. The trauma is hitting hard as she reaches out, and you can practically feel the malice dripping off the screen.
This kid never stood a chance against these mental demons.
Just when you think it cannot get worse, a demonic old man with glowing eyes and a beard made of nightmares shows up.
He is literally trying to bite Waren his head off like a snack. This is some high-tier nightmare fuel, and it is the exact moment Waren decides he has had enough of being a victim. Waren screams himself awake, gasping for air like he just ran a marathon. He is back in his room, but something is off.
The furniture is too nice, his body feels different, and the crushing weight of his future failures is gone.
Congratulations, we have officially entered the regression zone, folks.
He realizes he is back in his childhood room, long before his family was slaughtered and his clan was turned into a graveyard.
The disbelief is real, but so is the second chance. He is staring at his hands, realizing he has a chance to undo every single L he took in his previous life.
The memories of his father being turned into a human pincushion are still fresh. He remembers the blood, the fire, and the total collapse of everything he loved. He vows right then and there that he is going to stop the massacre, even if he has to become a monster himself to do it.
Back in reality, the servants are gossiping about how Warren apparently destroyed a statue by headbutting it.
They think he is possessed or finally lost his marbles.
I mean, can you blame them? The sick kid who could barely walk just took out a stone monument with his forehead.
That is main character energy right there.
But Warren has a bigger problem than a bruised ego. A scorching heat is erupting from his lower dantian. It is a surge of pure, unadulterated yang energy from that mysterious old man in his dream. He is basically a human volcano right now, and if he doesn't cool down, he is going to explode. The heat is triggering some seriously primal urges. He is sweating, shaking, and desperate for anything to kill the fire inside. He realizes this is the same insane power that ruined his life before, and he is not about to let it happen again. He needs a cold shower, or better yet, a whole frozen river. Ignoring the fact that it is freezing outside, Warren bolts out of his room half naked. The servants are terrified, watching their fragile master sprint through the estate like a madman. They think the cold will kill him, but they don't realize he is currently cooking from the inside out. He hits the bamboo forest at full speed, ignoring the biting wind. The internal inferno is so bad, he is practically steaming. He finds the waterfall and doesn't even hesitate, diving headfirst into the icy depths. It is a literal do-or-die moment to keep his brain from melting. The icy water hits his skin, and it is pure bliss. He is fighting the internal fire with the external freeze, finally getting his senses back. He is saved, but he is also soaking wet and standing in a lake while his dad watches from the shore looking like he just saw a ghost. Awkward.
The young rushes into the water, crying his eyes out and asking if his son is trying to commit suicide.
He is terrified that Warren's hate for him has gone this far.
Little does he know, Warren is actually looking at him with tears of joy because he is just happy to see his old man alive again.
Warren drops the act and gives his dad a hug that carries 30 years of regret. Everyone standing on the shore is completely stunned. The cold, young master is actually being affectionate?
They think the headbutt fixed his brain, but Warren is just playing the long game to rebuild his family.
He decides he needs to act natural so people don't get too suspicious. He cannot just go from edgy teen to loving son overnight. He vows to get closer to them slowly, fixing the broken bonds one day at a time while he prepares for the chaos he knows is coming. Fast forward 3 months, and Warren is a completely different person.
He is out here fishing with his half-brother Kijung, a kid he used to ignore entirely.
In the past, Kijung suffered from a chi blockage that turned him into an invalid, but Warren is here to make sure that history stays in the trash.
He is teasing Kijung about his medicine and making bets on who catches more fish. It is wholesome as heck, but Warren's internal monologue is dark. He remembers how his own marriage to a merchant clan kept him too busy to save his family before. He is not making that mistake twice. Kijung is confused because Warren is actually being nice, but he is not complaining. Meanwhile, Warren is secretly training his body into a temple.
He is doing push-ups and sit-ups like a madman because he knows that yang energy is still lurking, waiting for a chance to take over his mind again.
Every morning, it is back to the waterfall for meditation. He is disciplining his body to handle the old man as power, turning a curse into a weapon. His peace is interrupted by his little sister Xiaolin, who is basically a ball of sunshine.
Warren's heart breaks remembering how he used to treat her like garbage. He remembers the last time she asked him to go to a festival. He rejected her so coldly that she went alone and ended up being murdered by some unknown assassins.
That one event triggered the entire downfall of the clan.
Seeing her smile now, he realizes just how much of a monster he used to be.
Xiaolin asks him if he remembers that the moon festival is today.
She is expecting a no, but Warren shocks her by saying yes. He is not just going for the fun, he is going to be her personal bodyguard.
If any assassin tries to touch his sister this time, they are going to meet a very different Warren.
As they head out to shop and celebrate, Xiaolin is beaming with joy. Warren watches her, his resolve hardening like steel. He knows that in a year, another festival will come that brought her death, but he is going to spend every second until then becoming strong enough to crush anyone who dares to threaten his family again.
He looks at the moon and makes a silent vow. The Tianzhong clan is not going to be a shadow anymore.
He is going to restore their fame, protect his siblings, and make sure his enemies regret the day they ever thought this family was weak.
The Supreme Dragon is back, and he is coming for blood.
He remembers how he used to snap at her, telling her he didn't have time to play.
Those words haunt him now.
He sees the tears she used to hide and realizes he was just as much of a villain in her story as the assassins were.
This redemption arc is not just for the clan, it is for his own soul. The dark history plays back like a movie.
Xiaolin murdered, his father assassinated during the investigation, and the clan being swallowed by the Yuchi family.
It was a domino effect of misery. But today, the first domino refuses to fall. He is changing the script, one festival at a time.
Xiaolin is so happy she is almost crying, thinking her brother finally loves her. Werin just smiles, hiding the warrior spirit burning in his eyes.
He is going to buy her the best clothes, give her the best memories, and then he is going to go home and train until his muscles scream. They walk into the sunset, a picture-perfect family moment that was impossible just a few months ago. Werin knows the peace is temporary. The storm is coming, and the martial world is not ready for the heat he is about to bring. This is not just survival, it is a total takeover.
The Moon Festival is just the beginning.
Werin stands tall, the moonlight reflecting off a man who has already died once and has nothing left to fear. He is going to be the strongest, he is going to be the savior, and he is going to make sure the name Yong echoes through history forever. Imagine going from a bedridden loser drinking bitter medicine to an absolute unit with an 8-pack overnight.
Our boy Werin is reflecting on his past life as a professional bookworm and realizes that thanks to that creepy old man's aura, his body is literally itching for some action.
Even his father, the clan head, is having a total proud dad moment seeing his son actually standing upright for once. He is basically crying tears of joy because his heir finally stopped looking like a walking corpse, though Werin has to remind him that the other disciples are watching this embarrassing display.
Daddy clan head gets ambitious and suggests it is time for Werin to stop just doing cardio and actually learn the family's secret martial arts.
Little does he know, Werin already has a specific teacher in mind, and he is not looking for the generic family stuff. Their bonding time is cut short when the local sunshine Xiaolin comes twirling in, flexing the new drip Werin picked out for her. The father is left sighing in comedic defeat because his kids have a secret club now and he is definitely not invited to the fashion show. But behind that smile, Werin is feeling the pressure because he knows a Jimbro body won't stop the literal apocalypse.
He needs real-world combat techniques if he wants to protect this wholesome family life from being turned into a tragedy.
He heads straight for the ghetto part of the estate to find Mo Byung, the legendary dragon flower sword who is currently living like a hermit. She is out here swinging her blade with enough force to make the ground cry, and Werin knows she is the real deal.
Our protagonist pulls up with the ultimate request, asking her to take him in as a disciple.
Mo Byung is looking at him like he is some delusional fanboy, because the rumors say he is just a hateful, bedridden invalid who hates everyone.
She hits him with a cold refusal faster than a speed date gone wrong, claiming she is too busy investigating why the clan's arts suck to waste time on a failure like him. She basically tells him that a tiger doesn't change its stripes and he should just go back to his room.
That sting of being called pathetic hits Werin right in the ego, but he is not backing down because he has the ultimate cheat code. He knows the future.
In her eyes, he is just a simp for attention, but he knows exactly what kind of beast she really is.
He remembers her future as the Dragon Blood Flower, a tragic hero who was treated like trash by the clan but ended up sacrificing her life to save them from the Dabi sect.
He sees the powerhouse behind the neglected instructor and realizes she is the strongest person in the clan. To the absolute horror of the servants watching, the grand young master drops to his knees in the dirt, humbling himself completely.
It is a total power move that leaves everyone's jaws on the floor because a high-ranking noble kneeling to a nobody instructor is unheard of.
With eyes burning like he is the main character of a revenge plot, Werin declares that he won't let her or the clan follow that path of death again.
This sudden shift in his aura is so intense that Mo Byung actually stops walking because the vibe just got dangerously serious.
She decides to give him a chance, but it is a total trap. If he can touch her once during a spar, she will teach him. She even offers to handicap herself by not using chi or family arts, basically saying she can beat him with one hand tied behind her back.
Werin accepts with all the confidence of a guy who just watched a YouTube tutorial, but the reality check is brutal.
Before he can even blink, he is face-planted in the dirt, knocked out cold without even seeing her move.
Talk about a one-shot kill.
Mo Byung thinks the lesson is over and starts walking away. but Warren staggers back to his feet like a zombie.
He is bloodied, trembling, and screaming that they are not done yet, showing a level of persistence that is honestly kind of terrifying. Suddenly, the ominous red aura from that old man erupts from his body like a volcano. This isn't some righteous clan art. It is pure, sinister energy that makes the air turn cold.
Mo Byung realizes that the boy standing in front of her isn't human anymore. Sensing a lethal threat, her survival instincts kick in and she is forced to break her own rules.
Warren is charging at her with insane speed, and she realizes that if she doesn't use her full power, she might actually get sliced by a novice.
She unleashes the first form of the soaring dragon Emperor Sword, creating a massive explosion that levels the area. As the dust settles, Warren is collapsed on the ground, but he has a bloody, triumphant smile on his face because he actually forced a master to draw her blade. He touched her, and now she is stuck with him.
You won't believe the tea coming out of the Tianzhong estate right now.
Our main man Warren just went from a bedridden loser to a literal sword god in a few days, and the servants are absolutely losing their minds.
He is out here mastering high-tier sword forms like the Soaring Dragon Emperor Sword and the Azure Bamboo Sword, while the rest of us are still trying to figure out how to hold a spoon. His master, Mo Byung, is standing there in complete disbelief because this level of progress is actually unnatural. She remembers when he had zero martial talent and was basically a professional pillow tester, but now he is moving with the speed of a monster, and it is honestly kind of terrifying. But hold up, there is a massive red flag waving in the wind because a mysterious red chi just erupted from Warren's body during their spar. This energy feels totally alien and definitely does not belong to their clan's orthodox arts, making Mo Byung wonder if her student is secretly housing a demonic spirit. When she confronts him about the spooky red aura, Warren pulls the oldest trick in the book and pretends he has a concussion. He claims her blows were so hard he basically has selective amnesia, which is a total lie, but he plays it off with such a straight face that it is almost impressive. Mo Byung decides to accept his sketchy excuse for now, but she is not stupid. She gives him a chilling warning that as a guardian of the Tianzhong clan, she will be watching his every move like a hawk, so he better not try anything funny or he is toast.
Once he is finally alone, Warren drops the act and realizes just how deep in it he is.
He knows the red chi is a ticking time bomb, but his real concern is that his clan's martial arts are fundamentally broken and incomplete, which is basically a death sentence for their future. He starts reminiscing about the clan's OG progenitor, who was apparently a wandering justice seeker with a very dark secret. This guy received 2 demonic arts from the infamous Hidden Saint cult and tried to purify them into righteous styles, which is like trying to turn a shark into a vegan. The result of this identity crisis was a hybrid art that looks orthodox but has a demonic engine under the hood. It lets you reach the peak fast, but reaching the supreme peak is literally impossible, and this fatal flaw is exactly what eventually leaked and caused the entire clan to get deleted in the future. Luckily for the clan, Warren has the memories of a man who already watched their ruin happen once, and he is not about to let it happen again.
He is determined to fix the glitch in their techniques, but to do that, he needs to get out of the house and start his real mission. He marches up to his father with a perfectly crafted excuse, claiming he wants to visit the Jaegal clan to pay his respects to his fiancée.
Yeah, he is using an arranged marriage setup before he was even born as a cover story to go on a secret quest, and his dad is totally buying it.
His father is actually hyped about the idea, reminiscing about his old buddy Jaegal Yugyal and how the daughter is supposed to be a legendary beauty.
It is a win-win for the old man, but Warren's mother is sitting there looking like she is about to have a heart attack over her son's safety. After some parental bickering, they reach a compromise. Warren can go, but only if he takes a squad of heavy hitters with him.
His mom is not letting her baby boy out of the gate without a full-blown security detail, which is exactly what Warren expected.
Enter the bodyguards. Mo Byung is back on duty, along with 2 absolute units known as the Rising Ghost Blades, Jungwook and Namwook. These guys are basically muscle-headed towers who are shocked to see that the supposedly sickly young master is actually looking pretty fit and flexible. Warren does not waste any time and asserts his dominance immediately.
He tells these powerful warriors that while he respects their skills, they are going to follow his path and his rules without asking a single question.
It is a total boss move that leaves the Ghost Blades realizing this journey is not going to be a vacation. Before they head out, Warren has to deal with the emotional damage of leaving his family.
His sister Xiaolin is literally in tears, so he has to give her a pinky promise to be back for the Central Festival while entrusting the family's safety to his little brother Kajung.
Just as the group starts riding out, a desperate cry echoes through the estate.
It is the maid Yanawa, and she is running after the horses like her life depends on it.
She is breathlessly begging to go with him, even though she has zero martial arts skills and would basically be a liability.
Wherein shows his soft side for a second and gives her a tender hug to calm her down. He gently explains that the path he is taking is way too dangerous for her to handle right now, and he needs her to stay behind and look after the family while he is gone.
With Yanawa finally pacified, Wherein resolve hardens as he rides away from his home.
He vows to become strong enough to protect everyone he loves and stop the coming apocalypse, and that all starts with completing the incomplete arts that have cursed his family for generations.
Once they are clear of the estate, the real plan is finally revealed. The Jaegao clan visit was just a massive cap to get him near Wudong Mountain. He knows that the secret key to perfecting his clan's broken martial arts is hidden in those ancient peaks, and he is coming for it. Imagine being given a literal second chance at life and using it to play house.
Our boy Wherein is out here floating in a dreamscape, looking all peaceful while his internal monologue is about to get a massive reality check.
Just as he thinks he is safe, he finds a piece of wood from the Tianzhong clan.
Suddenly, the vibe shifts from zen to absolute nightmare as memories of his past life start leaking in like a broken pipe. Everything is on fire.
Wherein is stuck in a hallucination where his family home is burning down again.
He is screaming no, like he just saw the price of premium gacha currency, but the trauma is just getting started. Enter the old man, the ultimate hater. This terrifying fossil starts screaming at Wherein for wasting a miraculous second chance on childish games. He is basically calling our MC a low-tier simp for not seizing power immediately. The old man is not done roasting him. He tells Wherein he cannot change a single thing and demands he hand over his body. It is a total red flag moment as a giant, glowing eye stares him down, threatening to swallow his soul. Back to reality.
Wherein is in the middle of a spar with Instructor Mo, and his focus is completely trashed.
She is swinging a sword at his face while he is busy having a mental breakdown, which is never a good look for a clan heir.
Wherein pulls the I surrender card faster than a coward in a horror movie. Instructor Mo is genuinely concerned that his fragile health is back, but he just blames it on a lack of sleep. Smooth move, buddy.
Then we have the Ghost Blades, two absolute units who think lifting heavy rocks and drinking is the cure for everything. Wherein politely declines their meathead training because he has much bigger, more scandalous plans in mind.
He drops the bombshell. They are making a detour to
7 sages. To get the bodyguards on board, he uses the ultimate bait, rare ginseng and monkey wine. These guys hear alcohol, and their IQ drops to 0 instantly. Instructor Mo is the only one with a brain left, warning them that the mountain is crawling with demonic sects.
She thinks an orthodox clan shouldn't go there, but Wherein basically tells her that pride is for dead people. Our MC is out here saying he would claim to be from a demonic sect just to stay alive.
It is cold, it is pragmatic, and it is honestly a total savage moment that leaves Instructor Mo questioning everything she knows.
Wherein plays the filial piety card, claiming he wants the ginseng for his sickly parents. It is a total lie, but it works perfectly. Mo finally agrees, and the group sets off, completely unaware they are being played like a fiddle.
Behind that good boy smile, Wherein is laughing his head off. There is no wine on that mountain, only something 100 times more valuable.
He is hunting for the demonic poisonstone flower, a treasure that is basically a cheat code for power. Time for some lore.
This flower grows in a tomb where poisonous insects go to die.
After centuries, their venom hardens into a crystal, and if a seed hits it, you get a flower packed with demonic energy.
It is gross, but very OP. They arrive at a nearby town and find out the secret is already out. Every martial artist and their grandma is talking about the flower.
Wherein is shocked that the whole world knows his secret mission already.
Talk about bad luck.
Mo tries to convince him to turn back since top-tier demonic masters are gathering for a war.
But Wherein has a secret weapon, future knowledge. He knows exactly who is supposed to win, a guy named Gochiok. Gochiok is the heir to the Serpent Dragon sect and a total psycho who reached peak level in 6 months.
Wherein realizes this flower is the missing ingredient for his own dark martial arts. He is not just going there, he is going to steal it. Mo is stressed out of her mind, but Warren keeps gaslighting her with efficiency arguments.
He promises to evade any danger, but his internal monologue is basically planning a high-stakes heist against a demonic army. The Ghost Blades are already passed out from drinking, making them the most useless bodyguards in history.
Warren flashes another trust me smile that looks way too creepy to be innocent.
He is definitely cooking something devious. He orders his team to find a very specific inn, one run by the Serpent Dragon sect with empty tables but plenty of horses. He is playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers. He wants to ambush the winner at the finish line. His logic is flawless. Gochiak will need a secure base and fast horses to move the flower. Warren is basically setting up a spawn kill at the local inn.
He is not here to fight a war, he is here to take the loot and run.
They find the inn, and Warren spots his target, Gochiak, in the courtyard. But something is wrong.
The timeline has shifted, and Gochiak looks more stressed than a student who forgot there was a final exam today.
Gochiak is screaming orders, and Warren is eavesdropping like a professional gossip. The Serpent Dragon heir is mobilizing his 8 swords and 8 slashers for an urgent chase. The plan just got a lot more complicated. It is chaos.
Gochiak is losing his mind, and Warren realizes this variable is his golden ticket.
If the demonic army is distracted, he has a much higher chance of snatching the flower while they are busy chasing someone else. Warren tells his team they are going after them, and Mo Byung looks like she is about to have a stroke. She thinks it is suicide to chase a demonic sect, but Warren is done playing the weak air role.
He drops the mask completely. He tells Mo that the Jianghu is about to face a massive change, and they need power to survive. He is not asking anymore. He is commanding. The fragile health boy is officially gone. He delivers a speech about protecting their family and clan that is so hype, it could give you chills.
He looks her in the eye and asks if they believe in him.
It is a total boss move that leaves the bodyguard speechless. The Ghost Blades are immediately sold. They pledge their lives to his command, realizing their young master has finally grown some serious teeth.
Mo is still wary, but even she cannot deny the burning ambition in his eyes. Mo Byung bows and agrees to follow his will, but she warns him that the Jianghu is a cruel place.
Warren just nods, knowing deep down that he has already seen the worst of it. He is the only one who truly knows how brutal this world gets. As the group sets forth into the darkness, Warren's eyes glow with a terrifying resolve. He has experienced the end of the world once already, and this time, he is the one holding the match. The hunt for the poison flower is officially on. You know you are in trouble when an entire sect decides to turn the forest into a literal cage. Warren and his squad are currently playing a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek, watching as the Serpent Dragon sect sets up their inescapable net formation. It is basically a giant get-wrecked sign for whoever is trapped inside.
The sheer number of these guys is absolutely insane.
It is like the entire server showed up for a world boss, but Warren stays cool as a cucumber.
He spots the main squad just chilling and staying stationary, and he immediately realizes they are just waiting for their target to reveal the loot before they pounce.
Instead of doing something basic like running for the hills, Warren decides to move the team toward the riverbank. His logic?
A fugitive who is losing their mind and running for their life is going to pick the open water over a forest full of traps and sweaty sect members every single time.
Guess what? The man is a literal prophet. No sooner do they reach the water than a bloodied, desperate guy bursts out of the trees like he is auditioning for a horror movie, screaming for help and making enough noise to wake the dead. Talk about perfect timing.
Mo Byung immediately feels the vibe shift because this guy is radiating a sinister aura that would make a demon blush. She recognizes him instantly as the flying demonic bloodlion.
This guy is a top-tier expert in the demonic martial world, but right now, he looks like he has seen better centuries. Even though he is a legend, the lion is cornered and clutching the demonic poisonstone flower like his life depends on it. Gochiak, the heir of the Serpent Dragon sect, steps out of the shadows looking like a total psycho duke, ready to mock his prey for even trying to escape. The lion might be dying, but he has still got that dog in him. He snarls at them, saying that if the Tang clan had not already nerfed him and left him half dead, all these sect members would be nothing but fertilizer under his boots. He is basically calling them out for being vultures. Gochiak is clearly not a fan of the villain monologue and decides to pull out the ultimate pay-to-win move. He reveals the 1,000 Needle Downpour, a super expensive hidden weapon mechanism he bought just to make sure this hunt ends quickly without him having to actually work for it. The order to fire is given, and suddenly the sky is raining steel. The lion is forced to burn through his last reserves of chi to create a barrier, looking absolutely disgusted that these guys are using underhanded wealth and gear instead of fighting like actual martial artists. The defense is impressive for a second, but Gochiok is a total spammer. He orders the second squad to fire immediately, overwhelming the exhausted master. The lion gets riddled with so much steel, he probably weighs an extra 50 pounds before he finally collapses into the dirt. With the legend finally down, the serpent dragon simps swarm the body like it is a Black Friday sale, desperate to get their hands on the prize.
But the lion just laughs while coughing up blood, promising to take the flower's location straight to hell with him.
Talk about being petty until the end.
Watching this bloodbath from the sidelines, Mo Byung is visibly shaken by how brutal these demonic arts are.
But what actually scares her more is Warren.
The guy is watching the slaughter with zero emotion in his eyes, analyzing the whole thing like he is a veteran general instead of a young master.
Chaos breaks out when the sect members realize the miracle medicine is nowhere to be found.
They tracked him so closely that there is no way he could have hidden it on land, and Gochiok looks like he is about to have a literal aneurysm because his expensive loot is missing.
Warren realizes the lion played them all.
He explains to his team that the water barrier was not just for defense. It was a smoke screen to blind the enemies for a split second so he could drop the flower into the stream. The legend basically used the current as his getaway driver. Trusting the boss's big brain, the group races downstream. They are scanning the water like hawks until they finally spot that sweet, ominous purple glow.
There it is, the demonic poison stoneflower, just drifting along exactly where Warren said it would be.
Warren grabs the treasure, but he is not done being a menace yet. He pulls out a vial of poison and starts coating a random common flower with it. He is creating a decoy that mimics the toxic aura of the real deal just to lead the Serpent Dragon sect on a wild goose chase. Mo Byung is low-key judging him because an orthodox martial artist using poison is a massive red flag, but Warren does not care about your honor tropes. He knows a fake trail is the only way they are getting out of this forest without fighting a literal army. The bodyguards are basically ready to throw a party, amazed that they just walked away with a legendary treasure without even breaking a sweat.
They are celebrating their luck and Warren's genius, thinking they are finally home free and clear of the drama.
But because this is a manhwa, the vibes are immediately ruined. A chilling voice comes from right behind them, declaring that the flower belongs to him.
The squad freezes as they realize they are not as alone as they thought, and the real boss fight might have just started.
It turns out the flying demonic bloodlion was not as dead as he looked, or maybe he just had a second phase.
He is standing there looking absolutely terrifying, and the sheer pressure coming off him is enough to make the air feel like lead.
The squad is officially in the splash zone now. Warren does not even flinch, which is honestly the most main character thing he has done all day. He just stares back at the bleeding legend, holding the flower like it is a grocery receipt. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a sword, and the bodyguards are basically praying for a miracle. The lion is demanding his prize back, and he does not look like the type to accept a no for an answer. Even with his body falling apart, he is still a monster that can wipe them out in a heartbeat.
This is the moment where we see if Warren's plot armor is actually made of vibranium.
Just as the situation reaches a breaking point, the lion reveals his true intent.
He is not just here for the flower, he is here to make sure no one else gets it either.
The group realizes they are caught between a dying legend and an approaching army, and things are about to get very messy.
The chapter ends on the ultimate cliffhanger as the lion prepares to make his final stand, and Warren has to decide if he is going to fight a demon or run like the wind.
Either way, the Serpent Dragon sect is closing in, and someone is definitely not making it out of this forest in one piece.
Just when you thought the trash was taken out, the flying demonic blood lion decides that dying is for losers and crawls out from a pile of steel needles like a literal nightmare.
Our main characters are currently reconsidering every life choice as this psycho refuses to stay down. This absolute unit stands up and basically tells the Serpent Dragon sect that they are nothing but rats for even looking at his prize. He declares that the demonic poison stone flower belongs to him and him alone. And honestly, who is going to argue with a guy that looks this unhinged?
The atmosphere gets heavy enough to crush a weakling as the blood lion realizes he is out of time.
He does not have the luxury of a spa day to absorb the medicine properly, so he decides to just wing it in the most metal way possible. Instead of a graceful cultivation session, he just crunches down on the flower like it is a midday snack.
He is forcing the absorption right then and there because he knows he is on a clock, and he is not planning on going out quietly.
Talk about a desperate move. The man literally ignites his own life force just to get his true chi flowing again. He is basically burning his soul for a temporary power-up, vowing to refill his tank by drinking the blood of everyone standing in his way. The murderous aura coming off this guy is so thick you could cut it with a blade. It is the kind of pressure that makes your skin crawl and your heart stop, and you can bet the local simps are starting to regret their career paths right about now.
Waren's bodyguards are out here shaking like leaves in a hurricane.
They finally realize they are not fighting a human anymore, but a demonic monster that is completely out of their league.
It is a total red flag moment for the entire squad. Facing the literal embrace of death, Jung-wook has a sudden main character moment. He remembers his title as the Rising Ghostblade, a warrior who is famous for acting before his brain can even process the danger.
It is stupid, but hey, it is heroic. The two brothers decide to stop being background characters and step in front of Waren.
They draw their weapons and swear an oath to protect the young leader at all costs, even if it means getting turned into a red smudge by the blood lion.
Mo Byung is looking at them like they have lost their minds, questioning if they actually have a plan or if they just like the taste of dirt.
But the brothers have a secret card up their sleeves that is about to change the entire game. It turns out our young leader is a bit of a savage herself.
The flower the blood lion just inhaled?
Yeah, that was a poison decoy Waren planted. The monster basically just ate a ticking time bomb and called it dinner. The strategy is simple. The enemy is severely wounded, burning his lifespan, and now his insides are being melted by lethal poison. All the group has to do is stall him for a few minutes and gravity will do the rest of the work. They decide to take the initiative because standing around is for victims. They launch a full-scale assault, using the soaring Dragon Emperor sword technique known as Heavenly Lightning Ascension to light up the whole battlefield like a 4th of July show.
The blood lion is still a beast, though, blocking the massive strike and calling Waren a brat.
But his trash talk gets cut short when he feels a sudden, burning sensation that feels like his internal organs are being turned into soup.
He realizes this is not the typical instant kill poison from the Tang clan. This is something different, something slower and more insulting. The realization that he was tricked by a bunch of nobodies hits him harder than any sword strike could.
And rage doesn't even cover it. The man is staggering and coughing up blood as the poison starts to mix with his already fatal injuries.
But even with his body falling apart, his will to kill is still very much intact and terrifying.
He starts having a midlife crisis right there in the mud, wondering if this pathetic forest is really going to be his grave.
A legend like him dying to nameless nobodies?
He refuses to accept a script where he doesn't go out in a blaze of glory against a worthy rival. Through the literal madness and pain, he pieces together the truth.
If the flower he ate was a fake, then the real deal must still be with the boy he sent flying earlier. His logic is twisted, but his determination is still 100% psycho.
A gruesome, bloody smile forms on his face as he comes up with a plan that is peak villain energy. He decides he is going to tear open Waren's stomach and drink the juices just to get that medicine back, even if it has already been digested. He unleashes a final burst of speed using the shifting step, moving so fast that he basically vanishes from sight.
He is closing the distance instantly, and the air itself seems to scream as he moves for the kill.
Waren completely freezes up, her eyes wide as she realizes her brain cannot even track his movements. It is a total game over screen popping up in real time as the monster descends on her like a hungry predator.
Mo Byung screams out in pure terror, watching the blood lion reach out to finish the job.
The tension is at an absolute breaking point as the most dangerous man in the region prepares to turn our lead into a memory.
In the final moment of the clash, everything turns into a blur of blood and steel.
The young leader is staring into the eyes of a demon, and we are left wondering if the ghost blades can actually pull off a miracle or if this is where the story hits a very violent dead end. Imagine getting absolutely washed by a furry who just burned his entire life essence just to catch you.
Our boy Waren is currently tasting the dirt, and honestly, it is not a good look.
The flying demonic blood lion is out here flexing an aura of death so thick you could cut it with a butter knife, and Waren is basically a frozen statue at this point.
Warren is trying to tell his legs to move, but his body is giving him the silent treatment.
It is the classic main character in a horror movie trope where your brain says run, but your legs say let us just die here.
He is wheezing like he just ran a marathon in a coal mine, and the pressure is only getting worse.
The blood lion starts yapping, and you know it is bad when the monster starts mocking your life choices.
He is literally roasting Warren for acting all high and mighty earlier just to end up as a snack. He is looking at our boy with that cannibalistic hunger, basically asking if he wants to be served with a side of fries. Just when things look peak pathetic, something dark and spicy starts stirring in Warren's basement. It is that volatile energy from the old man in his past life, and it is sensing a prime opportunity to stage a coup. The red aura starts pulsing like a neon sign, whispering that it can delete this overgown kitty if Warren just hands over the keys to his soul. This energy is not just a power-up, it is a whole demonic roommate. Warren remembers this vibe from before he regressed, and it is definitely not the friendly neighbor type of power.
The Phantom is practically begging him to close his eyes and let the darkness take the wheel, promising a quick fix for his current, getting eaten problem.
The temptation is hitting harder than a truck. The red hands are literally reaching out from his own shadow, trying to pull him into the abyss.
It is a classic deal with the devil moment, and Warren can feel his mind slipping away.
The voice is getting louder, screaming that he is too weak to survive this without becoming a demonic puppet. Our boy finally grows a spine and tells the Phantom to shut its ghostly mouth. He grits his teeth so hard they might shatter and declares that this body has one owner, and it is not some relic from the past. It is a total get-out-of-my-house moment for the parasitic consciousness, and the sheer willpower is actually insane. With a roar that probably gave the forest animals hearing damage, Warren violently suppresses the demonic energy. He is not letting it control him. He is bending it to his will like a boss. He is not going to be a vessel for a ghost. He is going to be the master of his own destiny, and he has got people to protect who are actually worth the effort. The sudden explosion of power stops the blood lion mid-stride. The big bad kitty looks like he just saw a ghost, mostly because he recognizes that energy signature.
He starts stammering like a nervous middle schooler, wondering how a mere brat is flexing the aura of a legendary demonic master.
While the lion is busy having a midlife crisis, the poison he took earlier finally decides to join the party.
He starts coughing up a literal fountain of blood, and the momentum shifts faster than a mood swing.
Amo Byang and the bodyguards are just standing there in absolute awe, watching their young master stand his ground against a literal legend.
Warren realizes he has a 5-second window before things go south again.
He turns to his squad with eyes that are basically burning with main character energy. This is it, his first official order as the heir of the Tianzhong clan, and he is not asking for a coffee run. He is laying down the law while the lion is busy bleeding out. The order is simple: survive.
He tells them to forget the mission, forget the loot, and just make sure they do not end up as fertilizer.
It is a rare moment of actual leadership that hits the bodyguards right in the feels. They acknowledge the order with that "I would die for you" look, even though he literally just told them not to.
The blood lion wipes the blood from his chin and decides that if he is going down, he is taking everyone to the grave with him.
He gives up on surviving and decides to go full kamikaze, burning the last of his life essence for one final, desperate nuke. It is a total "if I cannot have it, nobody can move."
Warren is out here cursing because the monster is charging like a freight train made of spite.
The whole scene descends into absolute chaos as the group braces for the impact of a dying master's final strike. It is basically an explosion of demonic energy and bad vibes that threatens to level the entire forest. After the dust settles and the forest finally stops screaming, the Serpent Dragon sect finally decides to show up. They are late to their own party, as usual.
They rush in expecting a fight, but all they find is a very dead, very motionless blood lion lying in a crater.
The legend has officially left the building. Enter the young sect leader Gochiak, who has the personality of a wet napkin and the ego of a god. He steps over the corpse and demands the flower immediately, threatening to turn his own subordinates into headless statues if they do not find the prize. He has zero chill and even less patience after chasing this cat for so long. One of the terrified lackeys searches the body and has to deliver the "please do not kill me" news. The demonic poison stone flower is gone.
Vanished into thin air.
Gochiak looks like his brain is about to short-circuit from pure rage.
He realizes they have been played by a third party while they were busy playing tag.
Gochiok starts screaming into the trees like a complete lunatic, demanding to know which imbecile stole his loot. He is vowing vengeance on a thief he cannot even see, completely unaware that Warren and the squad have already dipped with the goods. Local sect leader discovers that being late means you get nothing but a dead lion and a bad mood. Imagine killing a boss and being so shocked you actually survive that you start laughing like a maniac.
Our ghost blades are out here questioning reality because they actually took down the flying demonic blood lion, a feat that should have been physically impossible for warriors of their level.
Warren isn't letting them celebrate for long, dropping a massive truth bomb that if that beast had lasted even a second longer, they'd all be corpses cooling in the dirt.
In the Jianghu, survival is the only thing that matters, and they were one breath away from a total party wipe. Look at this guy.
Warren is literally leaking blood from every orifice but still trying to look like a stoic protagonist. He's reminding his squad that his vow to protect the clan wasn't just some edgy talk, it's a promise written in blood and near-death experiences.
The man is essentially telling his team to get good or get buried.
He knows the monsters waiting in the future will make this blood lion look like a pampered house cat, and he's not about to let his protectors slack off.
But wait, the vibe just went from we won to you're a suspicious psycho real quick.
Mo Byung steps forward, and you can tell by her face she's about to drop a question that'll ruin the mood faster than a filler arc.
She's confronting the young clan leader directly about that ominous, blood-red chi he unleashed.
It didn't feel like the righteous energy of the Tianzhong clan. It felt like the sickening, demonic power of the monster they just put down.
She's not playing around, straight up asking if the heir of a righteous clan has been secretly dabbling in the dark side.
Seeing a holy leader use demonic arts is like catching a vegan eating a double bacon cheeseburger. Warren is sweating bullets internally. How do you explain you're a regressor who knows the cheat codes to forbidden power without sounding like you've completely lost your mind?
If he spills the truth now, the future could change in ways he can't control.
He hits them with the classic, "Just trust me bro" speech, using their shared trauma to dodge the question.
Right as he wins the argument, his body decides to remind him that channeling the old man's power has a nasty price tag.
He's coughing up enough blood to paint a house, but he's still tactical.
He rejects the plan to go to the Jagal clan because he knows the Serpent Dragon sect will be camping that route like sweaty gamers waiting for an easy kill. Meanwhile, on the mountain, we've got a kid and his cat just living their best life. Little Bake Seal is running wild, and the kid is chasing after him, completely unaware that the plot is about to crash into them like a freight train. The kid finally catches his runaway cat, but instead of a peaceful forest, he's greeted by the groans of the undead. Well, not actually undead, just Warren and his team looking like they just crawled out of a wood chipper.
Imagine being a child and seeing a blood-soaked Warren emerge from the bushes like a zombie from a horror movie.
The kid's soul almost left his body, and honestly, can you blame him? Warren looks absolutely terrifying right before he blacks out.
Warren wakes up in a humble clinic smelling like herbs and realization.
He's been patched up, and his first instinct is to yell about the blood lion, but he quickly realizes he's safe.
He's finally made it to the specific spot he needed.
He sees the little herb brewing kid and starts the interrogation immediately.
He's looking for a specific name, and when the kid confirms his grandpa is Hei Dukgong, Warren's internal monologue starts going into overdrive. Meet Hei Kyoryung. Right now, he's just a kid with a mortar and pestle, but in the future, this brat is destined to become the one supreme, the strongest man alive. Warren is basically staring at a baby goat.
This kid is the key to fixing the unstable and trash-tier martial arts of the Tianzhong clan.
Warren is ready to exploit his knowledge of the future to make sure this legend in the making becomes his ultimate trump card. Flashback time. Before the regression, the entire world went into a toxic frenzy over a book called the Inyang Depth Heaven Tome. We're talking a war so big, even the demonic and unorthodox clans were throwing hands just to get a glimpse of it.
This tome is the ultimate cheat sheet left by the Wudong founder, Zhang Sanfeng.
It basically lets you mix good and evil energy without your heart exploding, allowing a human to draw power that transcends typical limits.
In the original timeline, this kid just stumbled upon the book while picking medicinal herbs.
Talk about main character energy. Warren is here to make sure that legendary power serves his family's dream this time around. He was expecting a dramatic, cinematic encounter with the future strongest man under the heavens, but instead, he's just watching a kid do boring chores. It's a total subversion of expectations, But Warren isn't complaining. But wait, look at those hands.
Even while dealing with a simple fly, the kid is using high-level martial arts movements without even thinking about it.
His reflexes are already on another level.
Warren realizes that the legend has already started his training in secret.
The way he moves his hands proves he's already learned martial arts, and the hype for what this kid will become is officially off the charts. Imagine waking up and the first thing you see is a kid catching flies with the kind of precision that would make a grandmaster weep. Our boy Warren isn't just watching a brat. He is witnessing a literal martial arts prodigy in the making. Warren is internally screaming because those hand motions are unmistakable. When he calls the kid out, Keel Ryung tries to play it off with the classic "my grandpa taught me" excuse. Sure, kid, and my grandma taught me how to do backflips in a suit of armor. Just as the tension is building, the resident old-timer Hae Duk-gong walks in.
He is just happy his patient isn't a corpse anymore, but he has no idea he just invited a professional liar into his humble abode.
Time for the formal flex. Warren introduces himself as the young heir of the Tianzhong clan. He is laying on the politeness so thick you could cut it with a sword, thanking the physician for saving his life, while his brain is already plotting his next move.
The old man asks the million-dollar question, why is a noble pampered heir hanging out in the middle of nowhere?
Warren pauses because he can't exactly say he is there to rob the place of a legendary martial arts manual. This is where Warren earns his Oscar. He weaves a sob story about his mother being on her deathbed, claiming only rare wild ginseng can save her.
Meanwhile, back at the clan, his mom is probably eating a 5-course meal in perfect health.
He is literally squeezing out fake tears at this point.
He claims his parents were his world, and now he is just a desperate son wandering the mountains. It is a masterclass in gaslighting, and the poor physician is falling for it.
Instructor Mo is standing in the back looking like she just swallowed a lemon. She knows the young master is full of it, wondering why he is out here making up fan fiction about his own family's medical history.
The lie works too well.
Hae Duk-gong is moved to actual tears, calling Warren a true son of the century.
He is so touched by the fake filial piety that he immediately offers to lead a search party for this imaginary ginseng. They head up Mount Wudong, and while the old man is busy looking for roots, Warren is scanning the area like a high-tech radar.
He isn't looking for herbs, he is hunting for the Inyang Depth Heaven Tome.
Warren is getting frustrated because even with his future knowledge, the mountain is being a total diva.
He realizes that just because he knows what is supposed to happen, doesn't mean the treasures are going to jump into his pockets.
The sun starts setting, and they have got absolutely nothing. Warren is internally malting because his cheat code isn't working as fast as he wanted. He is learning the hard way that the grind is real, even for a regressor. The physician tries to be helpful, offering to mail the ginseng to the Tianzhong estate if he finds any later. He is basically telling Warren to go home, but our protagonist isn't leaving without the loot. Warren doubles down on the lie, insisting he has to stay at the clinic for a few more days.
He claims his heart won't let him leave while his mother is suffering. It is a guilt trip that the kind-hearted doctor just can't refuse.
That night, Warren stops playing the grieving son and gets back to business.
He realizes he needs to stop looking at the mountain and start looking at the old man.
If the tome is hidden, it is definitely in one of the doctor's secret spots.
Morning comes and Warren is ready to pull a secret agent move and tail the grandfather.
He politely declines a group hike, claiming he wants to search solo, which is just code for, "I am going to spy on you." The plan gets derailed when Keel Ryung comes sprinting into the yard looking like he just saw a ghost. The kid is gasping for air and clutching his cat, Bake Seal, like his life depends on it.
Turns out, while the kid was out hunting, some martial artists saw the cat and realized it was a rare mystic creature.
Instead of asking nicely, they decided that kidnapping a child's pet was a great way to spend their Tuesday.
The villains of the week finally arrive, led by an arrogant girl who thinks she owns the mountain. She demands the cat like she is ordering takeout, offering to pay handsomely as if that makes the theft okay.
Hae Duk-gong tries to be reasonable, explaining that the cat is family, not a commodity.
But this girl has the ego of a final boss and the personality of a spoiled brat, telling them they are lucky she is even offering money.
Warren is watching this and getting major déjà vu. This girl's entitlement is a mirror image of how he used to act in his past life, and he is not a fan of the reflection. He steps in and tells the thugs to back the hell off. The guards are offended that a random guy is talking back to them. They reveal they are from the prestigious Jaegal clan, expecting everyone to start bowing and scraping. Instead, Warren just looks annoyed. Warren's eyes widen as he connects the dots.
This brat isn't just anyone, she is Jaegal Yohi, the younger sister of his own fiancé.
He traveled all this way to dodge his in-laws, only to have them show up at his front door. Talk about a small, annoying world.
Warren is just trying to mind his own business when he realizes he is staring directly at his future sister-in-law, and boy, she is a piece of work. This is Jaegal Yohi, the youngest daughter of the Jaegal clan, and she is clearly used to getting exactly what she wants while looking down on everyone else.
Of course, every arrogant noble needs a meathead bodyguard to do their barking, and this guy immediately tries to flex on Warren for being insolent.
Warren has to quickly shut his own man up before he accidentally reveals their true identity as the Hunan Tian, because having this bratty woman know who they really are would be a total disaster.
Shifting her toxic energy back to the poor kid Kielryung, Yohi decides she wants his cat and she wants it now. She gives him a classic villain ultimatum: take the money and hand over the pet, or she will just have her goons take it by force, because apparently, animal cruelty is her favorite hobby. The kid is terrified, but Warren steps in with a smug smirk, telling them there is actually a third option.
Everyone is confused until Warren suddenly screams for the cat, Bake Seal, to run for its literal life, causing a complete chaotic mess in the middle of the clearing. The cat is surprisingly smart and bolts instantly, leaving Yohi looking like a complete fool.
Warren basically tells her that if the cat ran away on its own, it is fair game, and if she wants it so bad, she should just try and catch it like a normal person. Yohi is absolutely fuming and sends her elite guards to chase a literal cat through the woods.
Watching grown-ass martial artists struggle to catch a small ball of fluff is peak comedy, and Warren is internally loving every second of this humiliation. The guards return looking like they just ran a marathon through a thorn bush, forced to admit that the cat outpaced them.
Yohi realizes this is not just a pet but a rare mystic animal, which only makes her want to steal it even more, but she has official business with the Wudong sect to attend to first. As she stomps off, Warren remembers why they call her the Jaegal Witch. She is a straight-up genius who outclassed everyone in her clan to become a vice division leader, which is exactly why he needs to keep his identity hidden unless he wants a target on his back. Warren turns to the shaking Kielryung and plays the big brother role, promising the kid that Bake Seal is way too fast for those losers to ever catch.
It is a rare, wholesome moment in a world filled with psycho dukes and arrogant ladies, and the kid finally stops trembling.
To show his thanks, the kid's grandfather brings out some high-tier medicinal liquor, and you already know Warren's guards are about to lose their minds.
These guys live for booze, and they dive into that jar like they haven't seen water in 3 years. While the bodyguards are busy getting wasted, Warren is keeping a sharp eye on everything.
He notices the old man and the kid are more than they seem, but for now, he is content to let his men enjoy their liquid reward for not blowing their cover earlier.
Later that night, under the moonlight, Warren catches the kid practicing.
He notices a sudden shift in Kielryung's movement. The kid isn't just swinging a stick, he is holding a perfect martial arts stance that no simple herb gatherer should ever know.
Without warning, the kid lunges at him with terrifying speed. Warren has to move purely on instinct, grabbing a random branch to block the strike, and for a split second, the atmosphere turns incredibly heavy as their weapons clash in the dark. Warren is internally screaming because to block a literal child, he was forced to use the Azure Bamboo Sword art.
This kid has the kind of latent potential that would make most grandmasters weep with jealousy, and Warren realizes he is dealing with a future monster.
The next morning, Warren runs into the witch again, and she is putting on a fake nice act that wouldn't fool a toddler. She makes it very clear that she hasn't forgotten about the cat and plans to come back for it once her important business is finished. She tries to interrogate him again, demanding to know which sect he actually belongs to. Warren just gives her a trust me bro smile and lies through his teeth, saying he is from some tiny, irrelevant sect in Hunan that she has definitely never heard of. As she walks away, Yohi's mask finally slips, and she reveals she is not buying Warren's small sect nonsense for a second. No random nobody has that much chi or carries themselves with that much confidence, and she is starting to realize she might have met a real player. She coldly orders her subordinates to dig up everything they can on Warren and his companions. She wants their background, their martial arts, and their secrets, proving that once the Jagal witch sets her sights on you, your peaceful life is officially over.
The guards shout their obedience, and the hunt is officially on. Wherein thinks he successfully hid his power, but he just triggered the obsession of a very dangerous woman, and the real drama is only just beginning. Imagine being a top-tier cultivator and spending your days acting like a glorified gardener. Wherein is officially losing his cool because he has been scouring this mountain for days and still has not found a single clue about that hidden tome.
As the sun sets on another wasted day, he is starting to wonder if he is just chasing ghosts.
Realizing he cannot just play hide and seek with the mountain forever without people getting suspicious, Wherein decides it is time to pull the plug.
He calls his group together and drops the news that they are packing up and leaving the second their preparations are finished. The rising ghost blades are basically throwing a party in their heads because they are finally done with the quiet herb-gathering life.
But right as they are getting ready to bounce, a desperate scream for help shatters the peace.
Talk about terrible timing for a rescue mission.
Young Kyeolryung bursts into the room looking like he just ran a marathon through a car wash of tears.
He is gasping for air and drops the devastating news that his precious cat, Bakeseal, was being hunted by those relentless pursuers and got injured in the process. Wherein drops the edgy, mysterious master act for a second to actually listen.
He realizes that this might be more than just a missing pet case, so he asks the kid the million-dollar question: where exactly is this mystic creature's original territory? The kid points out the exact spot where he first met his furry friend, and Wherein does not even hesitate.
He claims that since the cat is basically family, it is only natural for him to step in and save the day. Spoken like a true protagonist with a hidden agenda. They waste zero time and head straight for the rugged, secluded part of the mountain. Wherein is moving with that main character's speed, leaving the scenery in a blur as they rush to find the injured kitty before it is too late.
They reach a massive cliffside with a steep drop-off, and the kid points down into the abyss.
This is where he thinks the cat fled to hide from the goons who were trying to turn it into a rug.
It is a sketchy spot, but Wherein is not about to back down now. As they descend and start looking around, the tension goes through the roof.
They find actual patches of white fur matted with fresh blood on the ground.
This confirms the cat is definitely wounded, and the clock is ticking before it becomes a snack for something else. The kid is full-on panicking now, fearing the absolute worst for his pet. Wherein keeps his poker face on and analyzes the area like a pro. Suddenly, he feels something weird. An unnatural breeze is flowing out from behind a massive boulder that looks like it is part of the cliff itself. Most people would just see a rock, but Wherein knows a hidden entrance when he feels one.
That breeze is a dead giveaway that there is a hollow space behind this massive obstacle.
It is time to see if his muscles are just for show or if he actually has the juice. Time for a strength check. Wherein tries to manhandle the boulder with everything he has got, but his current chi level is basically at simp status compared to the weight. He is forced to curse his own weakness because this rock is not budging an inch, no matter how hard he flexes. For a split second, he considers calling an instructor MO or the Ghost Blades to do the heavy lifting.
But he quickly realizes that revealing his secret loot spot to the help is a red flag move that would jeopardize his entire secret mission. Luckily for our hero, the kid actually has eyes.
Kyeolryung spots a tiny natural gap right at the bottom of the boulder. It is a small hole, but just big enough for a cat, or a very determined cultivator, to squeeze through. Wherein tries to play it off like a total Chad, claiming his pushing actually created the gap.
The kid immediately shuts him down, saying it was always there.
Embarrassed, Wherein crawls in first, pretending he is checking for danger when we all know he just wants the loot. Wherein moves closer, his eyes locking onto the yin and yang symbol on the figure's robes. The realization hits him like a freight train. He is standing in the presence of a legend, and the air in the room feels heavy with ancient martial power. It is official. This is the legendary sage, Zhang Sanfeng, the founder of Wudong himself. Wherein just hit the ultimate jackpot. This is the final resting place and the location of the legendary Taiji Depth Heaven Tome he has been hunting for this whole time. The epic moment is suddenly ruined by a tiny meow. Wherein looks over and sees Bakeseal hiding in the corner of the tomb. The cat is safe, though it looks pretty traumatized by the whole almost being killed experience. The kid finally squeezes through the gap and loses it when he sees his pet.
He rushes forward for a tearful reunion, hugging the cat like his life depends on it.
He has no idea he is standing next to a literal martial god, but hey, at least the cat is back. Imagine finding a legendary treasure just because you decided to not be a total jerk for 5 minutes. Warren is deep in this hidden cave when he finally finds Bake Seal, the white cat that's looking more like a wet floor rag than a mythical beast. The poor thing is weak, but our boy is actually showing a shred of humanity for once. But wait, the cat isn't the only thing in the dirt. Warren's eyes practically turn into dollar signs when he spots the jackpot, the Taiji Depth Heaven Tome.
This is the god-tier secret manual of Zhang Sanfeng himself, and it's just lying there like a discarded grocery list.
As he clutches the tome, Warren gets hit with a massive wave of irony.
If he had stayed the same selfish, trash-tier noble from his previous life, he would have ignored that crying kid and walked right past this world-shattering artifact.
Being a nice guy is actually paying off, which is the biggest plot twist so far. Our protagonist decides it's time to head back to the surface. He's carrying the cat like precious cargo, but the real heavy lifting is that secret technique burning a hole in his robes. He's walking out of that cave with enough power to flip the entire martial world upside down. He takes one last look at the tome, confirming it's the real deal. In his past life, this book was the stuff of legends, something people would commit war crimes just to glimpse. Now, it's just his Tuesday morning find. Talk about a glow-up.
Warren realizes he's genuinely changed.
Old Warren would have let the kid rot and the cat starve, but new Warren is out here playing hero.
He admits that this change is just the beginning if he wants to survive the absolute chaos heading his way.
He locks in his resolve. He isn't just looking to get strong. He's going to make sure the Tianzhong clan doesn't become a footnote in history.
He's vowing to secure a happy future for his family, even if he has to break every overused trope in the book to do it.
Back on the surface, Keel Ryung is treating the cat, while the bodyguards look like they've been standing in line at the DMV for 6 hours. They're annoyed, impatient, and completely clueless that their master just secured the ultimate cheat code. Warren apologizes for the delay, but you can tell he doesn't really care. He's got that main character energy now. The bodyguards are fuming, but Warren is just vibing, knowing he's the only one in the room who knows how the story actually ends. Instructor Mo asks if he found the wild ginseng he was so obsessed with.
Warren just gives her this cryptic, smug look and says he found something way better. When she asks what could possibly be better than rare herbs, he hits her with the line, "A future." Talk about dramatic. The team is left scratching their heads because Warren is acting like a philosopher all of a sudden.
He's done with the mountain and ready to roll, but he has one last piece of business with the kid who led him to the jackpot. Before they head out, Warren pulls out a jade plaque of the Tianzhong clan. This isn't just a trinket. It's basically a VIP pass to the most powerful family in the region. He hands it to young Keel Ryung, telling him to bring it to the clan if he ever gets into trouble. The kid is absolutely stunned.
He's just a country bumpkin in his own eyes, and here is this high and mighty noble giving him a literal get-out-of-jail-free card.
Keel Ryung asks the question we're all thinking, why are you being so nice to total strangers?
Warren just smiles and says the kid reminds him of himself.
But internally, he knows this kid is the future one supreme of the martial world. That jade plaque is a tiny price to pay for the loyalty of a future god. Warren is playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers. As they ride off, Warren feels a strange sense of satisfaction.
He thinks about his loyal maid Yanawa and realizes that building these connections is actually kind of nice.
Who knew being a decent human being could feel better than being a spoiled brat? But the peaceful vibes don't last long.
Warren suddenly drops a bombshell on the group.
He announces they aren't going to visit the Jaegao clan after all. They're turning the horses around and heading straight home.
Mo Byung is losing her mind.
She points out that they've traveled all this way and his fiancé's house is basically right over the hill.
It makes zero sense to turn back now, but Warren insists it's just too early to meet the in-laws.
The logic doesn't matter because the atmosphere shifts instantly.
Warren catches a scent on the wind that isn't mountain air, it's the metallic stench of fresh blood.
The mood goes from travel vlog to horror movie in 3 seconds flat. They follow the smell and find a scene straight out of a nightmare.
There's a massacre, and the bodies are still warm.
Mo Byung, being the voice of reason, tells him to ignore it.
Getting involved in someone else's blood feud is the fastest way to get a game over screen.
Warren initially agrees to walk away, but then he takes one last look at the corpses. His eyes widen as he recognizes the uniforms. These aren't just random travelers. These are the elite guards of the Jaegao clan, his fiancé's family.
The air gets heavy as Warren realizes the situation just went from 0 to 100.
If the elite guards are being slaughtered like cattle out here, it means the main Jagal estate is likely under a brutal siege right now.
Warren pulls on the reins, bringing his horse to a dead stop. He can't ignore this. Even if he wanted to stay out of trouble, letting his future allies get wiped out would be a massive tactical fail. He turns to his confused team and declares that the plans have changed again. He's not going home, and he's not playing it safe.
He's heading straight into the slaughter, because if there is a fight to be won, our boy Warren is going to be the one holding the sword. Mo Byung looks like she wants to quit her job, but there's no stopping him now.
Warren is locked in. The One Supreme might be a kid right now, but Warren is about to show the world that the Tianzhong clan's young master isn't someone you want to mess with.
With the smell of blood filling the air and enemies lurking in the shadows, Warren prepares to dive headfirst into his first real test.
The future he promised his family starts right here, in a field full of dead men.
The peaceful forest silence is officially dead, replaced by the beautiful melody of steel clashing against steel. Warren and his squad of bodyguards immediately catch the scent of a slaughter nearby. They decide to ditch their horses to stay stealthy, because nothing says clueless victim like riding a loud animal into an ambush.
The guards are already sweating, realizing this is their second welcome to the afterlife meeting since they barely survived that blood lion.
Warren isn't a fan of mindless charging, so he signals his team to keep their shirts on and observe from the shadows.
He is playing the long game while his guards are just trying to remember if they updated their wills. Through the dense trees, he spots the main attraction, a desperate fight for survival. Look who it is.
It is Jagal Yohi, that bratty noblewoman Warren had the pleasure of meeting before, and she is looking significantly less arrogant while running for her life. Fighting beside her is a man Warren recognizes instantly as Jagal Bayuk, the eldest son of the patriarch.
It seems someone decided that hunting down the direct heirs of a major clan in broad daylight was a great weekend activity. The attackers are rocking some seriously edgy fashion, wearing creepy white robes and masks that look like horned green snakes.
While Mo Byung and the others are scratching their heads at the symbol, Warren is already 3 steps ahead.
His future knowledge is like a cheat code, and he identifies these losers immediately.
He is looking at the infamous Green Blood Viper Squad, a group that is supposed to be legendary for their flawless cruelty in the future.
Seeing them here and now is like spotting a final boss in the tutorial area, and it is definitely not part of the script Warren remember.
Warren starts reminiscing about their leader, Duk Sang, a man who basically won the cultivation lottery by eating a pill of life from a mythical green blood viper.
That snack propelled him straight into the divine realm, where he decided to form this elite assassin unit.
Usually, these guys are ghosts, so seeing them out in the open is a massive red flag. Confusion is starting to gnaw at our boy.
Why would a high-tier assassination squad be wasting their time on the Jagal clan at this point in the timeline?
It is a variable he didn't see coming, and in this world, unexpected variables usually end with someone's head on a pike.
Without a clear motive, Warren realizes he can't just wing a perfect strategy.
He starts having a mini existential crisis, questioning why he is even bothering.
He already got his treasures and promised to go home and fix his own family's future. Getting involved in a clan war that isn't his seems like a great way to get killed for zero profit. But then, his main character energy takes over.
He realizes he is young Warren of the Tianzhong clan, and he is just too cool to turn a blind eye to this level of injustice.
He decides to step off the safe path and dive headfirst into the chaos. Because why have a peaceful life when you can hunt assassins? Stepping out of the shadows like he owns the place, Warren makes his grand entrance. The assassins actually pause their murdering to order his execution, while Jagal Bayuk just stares at him like he has seen a ghost. Bayuk can't believe this confident, aura-dripping warrior is the same sickly invalid he heard rumors about. Talk about a glow-up.
Warren isn't here for a reunion and coldly tells Bayuk that this is definitely not the time for small talk.
When the masked goons demand to know who he is, he just shrugs them off as passerby. The enemy leader isn't amused, sneering that it doesn't matter who they are because they are all going to end up in the same mass grave anyway. Analyzing the field, Warren realizes a head-on clash is basically a suicide pact. The Jagal siblings are gassed out and his own squad is outnumbered by these elite killers.
Brute force isn't going to work here. He needs to use that big brain of his to manipulate the situation before they all get turned into shish kebabs.
To make sure everyone makes it out with their limbs attached, Warren decides to take the lead. He steps forward to face the commander, which prompts the assassin to mock him for hiding behind a woman earlier. It is the classic villain taunt, but Warren is the master of psychological warfare.
He hits back with a smirk and a simple taunt that sends the enemy leader into a blind rage.
The bodyguards start panicking, thinking their master has finally lost his mind, and they move to intervene. But Mo Bayoum, the real MVP, stops them in their tracks.
She is staring at Warren with a look that says she knows something they don't. She tells the rising ghost blades to stand down and just watch. She recognizes that the fragile kid they used to serve is effectively dead, replaced by a cold strategist who doesn't move a finger without a hidden agenda.
Warren lunges forward, but instead of an honorable duel, he throws a handful of dust to blind his opponent.
Who said heroes have to play fair?
He strikes with lethal intent, aiming to end the fight in one go. The enemy leader has terrifying reflexes, though, twisting his body at the last second. What should have been a clean amputation turns into a shallow flesh wound. Most people would panic, but Warren stays as calm as a frozen lake.
Failing to chop off an arm doesn't bother him because physical damage was never the main goal.
He knows he is still in a high-stakes gamble, but he finally has the opening he was looking for. During the heat of the clash, he leans in close to the assassin commander's ear, looking like he is about to share some scandalous gossip. He whispers a secret message that literally freezes the assassin in his tracks. He tells the guy to deliver a specific message to their big boss, Duksang.
The bombshell?
Warren claims that he, too, is a member of the mysterious hidden saint cult.
The look on the assassin's face is priceless as Warren flashes a smile that says, "I just ended your whole career."
With that one lie, the entire power dynamic of the battlefield shifts.
The assassins don't know whether to keep fighting or bow down.
Warren is playing 4D chess while these guys are playing checkers, and he just put the entire Viper squad in checkmate without even breaking a sweat. Imagine being cornered by the future's deadliest murder squad, and your only weapon is a big fat lie. Young Warren is staring down a masked psycho, and instead of praying, he is cooking up a scheme to save his skin. Brute force is a one-way ticket to a coffin against these guys, so it is time for some high-level mental gymnastics.
He pulls out a secret move called the sound transmission technique, basically sliding into the enemy commander's DMs but in real life.
He whispers a message that would make any normal person faint. Tell squad leader Duksang that I, too, am from the hidden saint cult. Talk about a massive flex. From the sidelines, Mo Bayoum is looking at Warren like he just grew a second head.
She cannot hear the silent conversation, but she is absolutely floored that her supposedly mediocre student mastered a high-tier technique without her knowing. Teacher of the year? More like most confused teacher ever.
The assassin commander freezes like his brain just hit a 404 error. He lowers his blade because hearing the secret name of his boss coming from a random kid is not exactly on today's agenda. He is suspicious as hell and demands to know who this little brat actually is. Warren is sweating bullets, but keeps a poker face that would win him millions in Vegas. The commander is looking for any sign of a lie, unable to believe a 20-year-old could know the inner workings of a shadowy organization that specializes in making people disappear.
Our boy doubles down on the gaslighting, claiming he was there 5 years ago when the hidden saint cult got wiped out by the 3 demonic heavens.
He is basically telling a professional killer that they are on the same team, which is the bravest or stupidest thing he has ever done. The tension is thick enough to cut with a kunai. The commander is shaken but not fully sold because Warren looks way too young to be a veteran of a war that happened half a decade ago.
It is time for a pop quiz where the only prize for failing is getting decapitated.
The assassin decides to test Warren's credentials with one final, lethal question.
He tells Warren that if he really is a member, he should know exactly which branch of the cult he belongs to. One wrong word, and Warren is history. Warren's brain starts spinning like a high-speed hard drive, accessing his cheat codes from the future.
He knows that the hidden saint cult is actually a mess of 3 different factions pretending to be one big happy family.
He breaks it down mentally. The Sun Saint cult are the power-hungry meatheads, the Moon Saint cult are the religious fanatics, and the hidden saint cult is the awkward middleman trying to keep everyone from killing each other.
Looking at these green blood viper squad goons, Warren realizes they are way too ruthless to be church boys.
He bets everything on the fact that an elite assassination squad would definitely be the brainchild of the Sun Saint cult. This is a total gamble, a literal roll of the dice with his life on the line. He has to pick the most likely bet, and pray he does not end up as a cautionary tale. He takes a deep breath and prepares to drop the final bomb. With the confidence of a man who definitely is not lying through his teeth, Wherein looks the commander in the eye and declares he is from the Sun Saint cult. The silence that follows is deafening, but then the commander actually buys the bait. The gamble pays off, and the commander signals his squad to fall back into the shadows.
As the assassins vanish, the deadly vibe finally evaporates, leaving Wherein to breathe a massive sigh of relief.
He actually did it. He talked his way out of a massacre. But the victory comes with a price.
As soon as the adrenaline dies down, Wherein starts coughing up blood.
Blocking that earlier strike gave him some nasty internal injuries, and he is definitely feeling the sting of being a human shield.
Suddenly, the Jagal witch herself, Yohi, approaches him. Her earlier bratty attitude is totally gone, replaced by a massive blush and a bottle of medicine. She is acting like a total tsundere, shoving the meds at him because she does not know how to say thank you like a normal person. Wherein tries to play it cool and decline, which only makes her explode in embarrassment.
She screams at him to just take it and runs away, revealing a surprisingly cute side that nobody saw coming. Even the scariest girls have a soft spot for their savior.
Mo Byung pops out of the shadows and points out that the medicine he just got is a legendary treasure only given to the Jagal clan's elite.
Wherein basically just secured a legendary item from a girl who used to hate his guts.
The teacher then shifts into scolding mode, calling him an absolute lunatic for charging at a professional assassin. She genuinely thought he had lost his mind, but her anger is just a cover for how worried she was. Her voice softens as she remembers the old Wherein, the boy who hated the world and lived in a personal hell.
Seeing him risk his life for everyone else is a transformation so radical it is almost unbelievable.
She is actually proud of the man he is becoming.
Finally, she asks the big question, what is pushing him to change this much?
She wants to know what kind of fire is burning inside him to make him act like a hero when he used to be a total mess.
Wherein looks down, his mind flashing back to the regrets of his previous life and the faces of those he lost.
He cannot tell her he is a regressor, so he gives the most honest answer he can. He tells her he is just doing his best so that this time, he will not have any regrets when the dust settles.
He is living his second life with a vengeance, and he is not going to let anyone stand in his way. Imagine being one of the most famous clans in the world and having absolutely zero hands.
That is the Jagal clan for you. And Bayuk is currently riding back home while basically crying because they lack any real warriors to stop a basic ambush.
Wherein is just vibing as the escort, but Bayuk is deep in his feels, thanking our boy for saving them from becoming assassin fodder. It is a bad look when a major clan has to rely on a passing traveler to keep their heir alive.
The tension breaks when little Yohi decides to be a menace, asking Wherein if he is only this helpful because he is thirsty for her sister Chongyung. She wants to know if it is the legendary beauty or the top-tier martial arts that has him acting like a simp.
Wherein is not falling for the bait.
He shuts down the childish teasing because he is busy using his brain, asking the real questions.
Why on earth would assassins try to pull a hit in the Jagal clan's own backyard? This place is basically the clan's front porch. Attacking here is either a total suicide mission or someone has a very specific, very dangerous plan. Wherein knows that in this world, coincidences are just plot holes waiting to happen. Yohi tries to play it off as just a random stroke of bad luck, but Bayuk has had enough of the secrets.
He realizes that Wherein is the only reason they aren't in a casket, so he decides to spill the tea on what is actually going on.
The truth is even messier than Wherein thought.
The assassins weren't just there for a body count, they were surgical.
They slaughtered the guards without blinking, but went out of their way to make sure Yohi stayed in one piece. This was a straight-up kidnapping plot. Bayuk is looking stressed because this implies someone has a massive grudge against the clan. Even worse, he suspects that some top-secret intel has leaked to their enemies.
Basically, there is a rat in the house and the walls are closing in.
They finally reach the massive gates of the estate, and the scale is insane.
But Wherein is not impressed by the architecture. His stomach is doing flips because he is about to see her again after an entire lifetime of regret.
Flashback time for our regressed king. In his past life, the marriage between him and Chongyung was set before they even took their first breath.
But while she was a martial arts prodigy, he was basically a professional bedridden invalid.
They were living in two completely different dimensions.
She was out there conquering the martial world while he was busy coughing up his lungs in a dark room.
It is the ultimate "she was a skater girl, he said see you later boy" tragedy.
Because of that massive gap in power and health, they drifted apart until they were basically strangers.
Werin spent his first life being the burden while she became a goddess of war.
This time, he is determined to change the script.
Werin pushes the trauma aside and enters the grand meeting hall. It is time for the formal greeting with the man who would have been his father-in-law, the big boss himself, Jaegal Chiak.
Meet the heaven-ruling sword, Jaegal Chiak. He enters with a laugh so loud it probably shook the foundation, but he stops dead in his tracks. He is looking at Werin like he just saw a ghost who recently joined a gym. Chiak is absolutely shook by the glow-up. Last time he saw Werin, the kid looked like he was one sneeze away from the afterlife. Now, our boy is standing tall with vibrant energy and a physique that screams, "I actually train." After some polite small talk about Werin's dad, the clan head starts praising Werin's martial foundation.
He even jokes that Chongyang will be delighted to see her husband-to-be is no longer a wet noodle.
Werin just plays it cool with that humble protagonist energy. The meeting is short and sweet, but before Werin leaves, Chiak drops a warning.
Apparently, another guest of a similar age has already arrived and is hanging around.
Translation: a wild rival has appeared to challenge your claim. Werin steps out and immediately hears a commotion.
Someone is out here acting like they own the place, shouting at the servants and making a total scene in the courtyard.
Talk about having no class.
The loudmouth in question is Jiaquang from the Songchun clan.
He spots Werin and immediately starts flexing his ego, trying to assert dominance because he arrived at the estate first.
He clearly thinks he is the main character of this arc.
Jiaquang is the definition of a red flag. He starts mocking Werin for his history of being sickly, basically telling him to go back to bed and leave the pretty girl to the real warriors.
This guy is begging for a reality check. Werin is not bothered by the trash talk.
He hits back with a savage reminder that their engagement was signed before they were even born.
Arriving first doesn't mean anything when the contract was finalized decades ago. Talk about a verbal shutdown. Jiaquang is fuming, his ego bruised by the logic. He tries to keep the tough guy act going, but the tension is thick enough to cut with a sword. It is clear this guy is just a spoiled brat who isn't used to being told no. Before the two can start throwing hands, Bayuk steps into play referee.
He points them toward the inner courtyard, where the lady of the clan is currently training.
It is time for the main event and a reunion that has been lifetimes in the making. They arrive just in time to see a disciple literally flying through the air. The poor guy was just sent into orbit by a single strike. The power levels in this courtyard are definitely not on the same level as the weaklings they saw earlier.
Through the dust and the chaos, we finally see her. Jaegal Chongyang is standing there with a sword in hand, looking completely unimpressed by the warriors she just dismantled. She looks like she is dying of boredom. She laments her own strength, basically calling her opponents boring. It is peak Ice Queen energy, and Werin is just standing there, realizing that his fiancée is even more of a monster than he remembered.
This is going to be a wild ride.
The crowd is absolutely losing their minds because the local legend, the Snow Blossom Blade, has finally returned with the demonic human's head as a souvenir.
Talk about a brutal welcome home party.
Everyone is gossiping about how the Jaegal clan managed to produce such a monster of a martial artist, but honestly, Chongyang just looks like she needs a nap and a break from all the simps. While the hero gets her flowers, our boy Werin is just blending into the background, watching his fiancée like a proud fanboy while the rest of the world wonders if he is even worthy. Chongyang has reached the peak of her craft through pure, unadulterated grinding, earning a title that sounds cool enough to make any side character tremble in their boots. She is officially one of the top 3 female martial artists at 40, proving that age is just a number when you are busy slicing through your enemies like butter. Of course, there is always that one annoying guy who thinks he has a chance, but Chongyang shuts him down faster than a failed bank, reminding him she is already taken. Werin finally steps into the light, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a dull butter knife as the two lovebirds reunite under the watchful eyes of the haters.
Werin is just trying to be a polite guest and head out early, but you can see the jealousy radiating off the local martial arts prodigy like a bad smell. The Azure Cloud Dragon Blade is clearly fuming because his crush is looking at Werin with actual emotion instead of the cold indifference he usually gets. Our local simp is literally clutching his fists so hard they might explode, proving that some men just cannot handle seeing someone else win the jackpot. Later that night, the clown decides to invade Warren's privacy to have a little chat, acting like he is the main character of a tragic romance novel.
This guy actually has the nerve to say he is in love with Chong Young and asks Warren if he truly intends to wed her, as if his opinion matters at all.
He starts lecturing Warren about how Chong Young only respects power, essentially calling our MC a weakling who does not deserve to stand next to her.
The disrespect is unreal as he flexes his title and claims Warren is just a barely recovered invalid who is dragging her down.
This guy is a walking red flag.
Warren just gives him the cold shoulder, which sends the simp into a silent rage.
If looks could kill, our MC would have been buried 5 minutes ago.
After being kicked out, the guy starts plotting with a suspicious bottle, proving that if you cannot win with skill, you just resort to being a total snake.
Warren knows this trash is going to make a mess, so he prepares to use his secret technique sooner than he planned.
The calm before the storm is officially over. Little sister Yohee drops by to tease Warren about his marriage, providing a rare moment of peace before the absolute chaos that is about to erupt at the gates. Warren is just trying to leave peacefully, but the marriage gossip has spread so far that even the kids are asking when the wedding bells are ringing.
As the departure ceremony begins, the atmosphere shifts from celebratory to hostile because our favorite simp just cannot let things go without a scene.
Jiaquang steps forward and publicly challenges the Tianzhong heir, hoping to humiliate Warren in front of the entire clan before he can escape.
Chong Young immediately calls him out for being a shameless coward, pointing out that Warren is still recovering from an assassin attack.
Talk about getting roasted by your crush. The simp twists the narrative, claiming he just wants to see the soaring Dragon Emperor sword out of respect, trapping Warren into a fight he cannot refuse without looking like a coward. Just when our boy Warren is trying to wrap things up, this random clown Jiaquang decides it is the perfect time to act like a main character and publicly challenge the Tianzhong heir to a duel. Talk about bad timing or just pure thirst for clout.
This guy really introduces himself with a title as long as a grocery list, calling himself the Azure Cloud Dragon Blade, while everyone else is just wondering why he is interrupting the vibe with his massive ego.
The audacity of this man is off the charts as he smirks and requests a duel, clearly thinking he is the hottest thing in the courtyard while the spectators look on in pure confusion.
Chong Young is not having any of it and immediately roasts him, calling him a shameless loser for trying to pick a fight with a man who is literally still covered in bandages from his last life or death battle.
Jiaquang just laughs it off like the delusional villain he is, twisting the narrative to claim that challenging a martial clan heir is a sign of respect, basically forcing Warren into a corner where saying no makes him look like a total coward.
He claims he just wants to see the legendary soaring Dragon Emperor sword in action, but Warren sees right through this cheap fanboy act and knows this is a calculated move to humiliate him before he can even leave. Our protagonist knows he is in deep trouble because his internal energy is still a complete mess after dealing with those assassins, and he looks at instructor Mo hoping for a bailout from this circus.
Warren notices that even his allies are curious to see what he can do, and he realizes that running away now would just spit on his clan's reputation, so he prepares to embrace the chaos.
Instructor Mo starts to say she should stop him, but then she realizes Warren has that look in his eyes, the kind that says he is ready to throw hands for his honor no matter how much it hurts.
Instead of being a buzzkill, Mo decides to go full ride or die, pledging to follow Warren on whatever path he chooses and telling him to just go out there and win the whole thing.
Bolstered by her faith, Warren steps up and officially accepts the challenge, instantly silencing all the trash talkers in the crowd as he faces down the man trying to ruin his engagement party.
They set the rules for a supposedly friendly spar where lethal moves and sword chi are banned, which sounds nice on paper, but everyone knows things are about to get very violent very fast.
The victory conditions are simple: disarm your opponent or just smash their sword into a million pieces, which is basically a challenge of pure physical strength and technique. Jiaquang is internally doing a victory dance because he knows Warren is too injured to control his chi properly, planning to toy with him like a cat with a broken mouse before delivering the final blow.
But Warren has a trick up his sleeve and suggests a wager to make things interesting, proposing that the loser should be banned from ever stepping foot inside the Jagal clan estate ever again.
Jiaquang, being the arrogant simp he is, accepts the bet immediately without realizing he just walked into a massive trap designed by a man with a much higher IQ.
The observers finally realize Warren is playing 4D chess. If he wins, the annoying pest is gone. And if he loses, it does not matter because he is marrying into the clan and will be living with Chongyang anyway. As they take their positions, the tension is so thick you could cut it with a dull knife, and the crowd is split between those who think Warren is a god and those who think he is about to get folded.
Whispers fly around about whether the man who killed assassins can handle a fresh genius, but the skeptics point out that Warren looks like he might cough up a lung at any moment. It turns out Jia Quang is not just a loudmouth. He is actually a genuine prodigy with skills that rival the elite rookies of the top sex, making this fight a lot more dangerous than it looks.
The azure-clad dragon blade finally draws his weapon, and you can tell by the way he holds it that he is not here to play nice, despite what the rules say about a friendly duel. Even Chongyang is looking a bit worried now, as the sheer pressure coming off Jiaquang proves that he is more than just a fancy title and a bad attitude.
Jiaquang decides to drop one last insult, wondering why the Tianzhong clan is called the Dragon Clan, when they have all turned into nothing more than pathetic worms crawling in the dirt.
That was the wrong thing to say, because Warren's eyes go colder than an ice bath, shifting from a polite guest to a ruthless warrior who is about to teach this kid a lesson in humility. Warren grips his sword and quietly tells the arrogant brat that he is about to show him exactly why his clan bears the name of the dragon, and the atmosphere explodes with killing intent. The duel finally begins with a burst of speed that leaves the spectators blinking, as both men clash in the center of the courtyard with enough force to shake the ground beneath them. Steel meets steel in a shower of sparks, and it is clear from the first exchange that Warren is not going to let his injuries stop him from absolutely destroying this man's career. The duel finally kicks off, and Jiaquang is moving like he is on 5 cans of energy drink, unleashing a barrage of shifting attacks that would make a blender jealous.
He is determined to turn the Tianzhong heir into mincemeat with sheer speed, acting like he is the main character for once.
But wait, our boy Warren is actually doing something?
To Jiaquang's absolute horror, the guy he thought was a permanent invalid is deflecting every single blow with the precision of a professional gamer. The challenger is already losing his mind, wondering how a guy who was literally bedridden yesterday can track his every move.
Inside Warren's head, the world has basically gone into slow motion.
He realizes his vision has evolved into a literal cheat code, allowing him to see the trajectory of the sword like he has got a built-in HUD.
This is that high-level insight usually reserved for old masters who have been meditating in caves for 50 years.
Warren starts putting the pieces together and realizes this unnatural perception is another parting gift from that mysterious old man.
It is a level of power he definitely should not have yet, but hey, when the plot gives you a legendary buff, you do not ask questions, you just use it to survive the local psycho.
Jiaquang is getting tilted because he cannot land a single scratch.
Since his sword skills are failing him, he resorts to the classic trash talk strategy, calling Warren a rat for dodging and daring him to actually block an attack like a man.
It is the ultimate coping mechanism for someone who is currently being outplayed. Fed up with the dancing, the challenger shifts his stance and prepares to drop the hammer. He summons the Songchun clan's signature move, the mighty Azure Cloud Sword. You know it is serious when the blue Kai Shak starts glowing and the air feels like it is about to explode. Instead of scurrying away, Warren decides to meet him head-on with a little something called the Soaring Dragon Emperor Sword. The two techniques collide in a massive explosion of chi that probably just cost the groundskeepers a year's salary in repairs. The entire courtyard is basically a disaster zone now. Even after the clash, Jiaquang is still sneering like a typical arrogant young master. He genuinely believes his clan's arts are superior and refuses to give Warren even a second to breathe. He is already transitioning into a lethal follow-up because apparently, friendly spar is a concept he never learned.
This is where things go from 0 to 100. Jiaquang throws the rulebook out the window and unleashes a secret move called the Severing Sphere.
This is not a move for a duel. It is a move designed to mutilate someone. He is literally trying to rip Warren's arm off in front of everyone. The impact is absolutely devastating, and for a second, it looks like the villain actually won.
Blood splatters onto the stone floor, and the crowd is probably already thinking about where to send the flowers.
The dust starts to settle, and the tension is high enough to snap a steel cable.
Warren just casually wipes the blood away and tells the guy that the fight is far from over.
This defiance is the final straw for Jiaquang's sanity. He finally drops the act and reveals his true colors. He just plain hates Waren's face and that superior, know-it-all demeanor he always carries. The guy has gone full psycho, admitting that he has wanted to smash Waren's face in for a long time.
At this point, it is not even about the engagement or the girl anymore. It is just pure, unadulterated jealousy and a desperate need to crush someone he feels inferior to.
Talk about a massive red flag. Killing intent starts flooding the courtyard like a tidal wave, and the spectators are finally realizing that this is not a game. Yohei is screaming for them to stop before someone ends up in a casket, but the two of them are already in their own world of violence. This has officially spiraled into a death match. While Jiaquang is busy being a hater, Waren is having a moment of profound clarity. He admits to himself that he has been living a total lie, acting all calm while he was actually terrified of the future. He is finally confronting the imposter syndrome that has been eating him alive since the start. He gets real about his guilt, acknowledging that he is no saint. He even admits to stealing a child's future by taking that Wudong manual for himself. But instead of letting that guilt paralyze him, he decides he is done running from his pathetic past. It is time for a new Waren to take the stage.
He resolves to walk a new path, one where he tries his hardest to help those within his reach instead of just pretending to be someone he is not.
With his resolve hardened into literal steel, he completely tunes out Jiaquang's confused screaming and prepares for the final exchange. Waren charges directly into the center of the enemy's force, which is basically a suicide move for anyone without plot armor. He is willing to risk everything on a single counterattack, showing that he has finally found something worth fighting for.
The atmosphere is thick enough to choke on.
He declares to the arrogant challenger that he is about to find out exactly why the Tianzhong family is feared as the clan of dragons. It is the ultimate "you messed with the wrong house" moment, and you can practically hear the epic boss music starting to swell in the background. As Jiaquang braces for the impact, Waren signals that the defensive phase is officially over. The art style shifts into this gorgeous ink wash look as he whispers a single word, "Now." The table has been flipped, the hunter is now the prey, and things are about to get very, very messy for the Sanshan'er. The screen goes dark as the dragon finally wakes up.
If you thought the fight was intense before, you have seen nothing yet.
Waren is about to show this simp that some dragons are better left sleeping, and the courtyard is about to witness a level of power that shouldn't even be possible. The ink flows across the panels as Waren's internal power manifests, turning the entire duel into a masterpiece of destruction.
Jiaquang's face is a mask of pure terror as he realizes he didn't just pick a fight with a rival. He walked right into the jaws of a monster.
Everything culminates in this one final, silent moment of overwhelming force. The "now" isn't just a word, it's a death sentence for Jiaquang's ego. The Tianzhong name is about to be etched into the stone of this courtyard in the most violent way possible, and honestly,
We are here for it. Waren decides it is time to stop playing with his food and finally unleashes the true essence of the Tianzhong arts, turning the arena into a literal dragon's den.
The spectators are busy losing their minds as a majestic dragon of pure qi begins to materialize, radiating a pressure so heavy it is basically a physical weight.
Arrogance is a hell of a drug, but Jiaquang's high ends instantly when he realizes the impossible is happening right in front of his face.
our boy is acting like a human battery, and Jiaquang realizes his own energy is being sucked dry to fuel Waren's rising power instead of doing damage. Waren is locked and loaded, ready to deliver a strike that would definitely turn his opponent into a memory, but the fun gets cut short by a booming command. The energy absorption is so intense that Jiaquang can only watch in horror as he becomes the very source of his own impending destruction. Just as the killing blow is about to land, the Jaegao clan head finally steps in to stop the duel before the arena floor gets stained with a fresh corpse. Even though he is shaking like a leaf, Jiaquang tries to salvage his shattered ego by screaming that he totally would have won if the elders had not interfered.
Waren is not even breaking a sweat, simply pointing at the broken fragments of Jiaquang's blade to remind him that a snapped sword means absolute defeat.
Since he cannot handle the truth, the local loser starts shouting about sorcery and demonic arts, because there is no way a weakling could be this cracked.
The Jaegao clan has zero patience for this tantrum, ordering him to stop the cap and get lost before he ruins the Songchun clan's reputation any further.
As the disgraced challenger storms off, the clan head approaches with a boisterous laugh, acting all impressed by Waren's unexpected martial prowess. He admits he did not intervene to save Waren, but to keep Jiaquang from dying, which is the ultimate way to roast someone without even trying. Seeing Waren's battered condition, the old man insists he stay the night at the estate to recover and have a long overdue chat with Chongyang.
Once the MC is out of earshot, the clan head looks at his own bloodied hands and realizes a true dragon has been hiding in the Tianzhong clan all along.
Realizing Waren is a massive threat, he tells his son Bayuk that their secret plans need to be moved up immediately because the game has officially changed. Later that night, Waren takes a moment in his guest quarters to admire his collection of scars, reflecting on the heavy price he has paid for this power. Solitude does not last long, as a quiet knock at the door signals the arrival of a visitor he has been expecting for a very long time.
Jagao Chongyang finally steps into the room, marking the beginning of a confrontation that is bound to be as scandalous as it is intense.
Late-night visits in a cultivation world are either for a secret romance or a murder attempt, and honestly, with these two, it is hard to tell.
Chongyang slides into Waren's guest quarters like a ghost, looking for answers after that insane stunt he pulled earlier. Look at her trying to act all stoic while her eyes basically scream concern.
She finally asks the big question, how are you even alive right now?
She knows he pushed his broken body way past the limit just to secure a win. Our boy Waren just sits there like he did not almost meet his ancestors 5 minutes ago.
He admits he went a little overboard, but tries to play it off as no big deal. Typical main character behavior, pretending internal bleeding is just a minor inconvenience. Chongyang is not buying the tough guy act for a second.
She reminds him that Jiaquang was a straight-up monster.
That mighty azure cloud sword technique is famous for literally shredding people into confetti with pure chi.
She points out the elephant in the room. He was injured, handicapped, and facing a top-tier genius, yet he still walked away with the W.
Her warrior instincts are tingling because something about that fight smelled fishy.
Now we get to the juicy part.
She calls out his final move, saying it felt nothing like his clan's signature style. That technique was devouring energy like a hungry black hole, making her wonder if he has been moonlighting with the Wudong sect. Waren just stares at her, realizing this girl is a total martial arts nerd.
Even in a quiet, intimate moment, her brain is just 100% combat theories and power levels.
Talk about being a martial addict, she is definitely a red flag for anyone wanting a normal date. Sensing that she is about to grill him for 3 hours on footwork, Waren decides to flip the script. He cuts through the interrogation to find out why she really showed up at his door in the middle of the night. He drops the act and gets dead serious, revealing his new life mission.
After cheating death, he is only focused on one thing, protecting his clan and family, and he will turn into a straight-up villain to make it happen.
He assumes she has the same energy, just focused on becoming the strongest being in existence. He looks her in the eye and tells her she needs to be free to chase her own goals, basically starting the most awkward breakup talk in history.
Cue the dramatic zoom in.
She actually asks if he is dumping her because he found another woman.
The audacity of this man.
She is ready to catch a case if there is a secret side chick hidden in the palace.
Waren starts choking on his own spit, quickly shutting down the cheating rumors.
He lays out the cold, hard truth: they do not love each other. She loves her sword more than people, and he loves his family more than her.
Simple math, really.
He tells her to go live her best life, unburdened by this arranged mess.
But Chongyang has one final request before she lets him walk away.
You can see the wheels turning in her head. She is not done with him yet. Her idea of a parting gift?
A private duel under the moonlight. Because apparently, talking like normal humans is too difficult, and clashing blades is the only way to truly understand someone's soul. These people are actually insane.
She claims that every swing of the sword says more than 1,000 words.
It is the ultimate don't tell me, show me moment. Waren respects the hustle and agrees to one last dance with the most dangerous girl in the province.
The atmosphere shifts instantly from awkward drama to pure high-stakes action.
They draw their steel, and the moonlight reflects off the blades. This is not just a spar, it is an emotional dump via physical violence. They clash, and it is absolute peak fiction.
Every strike is a question, every parry is an answer.
You can see the joy on Chongyang's face. This is her version of a deep, heartfelt conversation.
The speed is blinding as they blur across the courtyard. Waren is keeping up, proving that his recovery is the real deal.
They are basically communicating through pure destruction at this point.
Look at that smile. She is finally seeing the real Warren, the man who clawed his way back from the brink of death. This is the closure they both needed, even if it involves potentially stabbing each other.
The next morning, it is time for the squad to move out. Warren and his crew are packed up and ready to leave the Jagal estate. The air feels different now, like a massive weight has been lifted off everyone's shoulders. As they ride toward the gate, Warren looks back one last time. He sees a tearful Yohee and a satisfied Chong-young watching from the distance. He has successfully rewritten the future and avoided a disastrous marriage all in one trip. They gallop off into the distance, leaving the Jagal clan behind. Two swords left standing in the dirt symbolize the end of an era. Our boy is moving on to the next chapter, and the world better be ready for what is coming next. We start with our crew chilling at an inn, but don't let the peaceful vibes fool you.
This isn't a vacation. It is a full-blown interrogation because instructor Mo Byung has eyes like a hawk and zero chill when it comes to her student suddenly becoming a god. Mo is basically calling out the massive plot armor, asking Warren how on earth he trained so hard while being under her nose the whole time. She is smelling a rat because those new sword moves were definitely not in the official manual. Warren just hits her with that classic smile, playing the innocent card while his brain is actually running at 100 miles per hour.
Internally, our boy is doing some high-level math on his own broken abilities.
He realizes the soaring dragon emperor sword didn't just hit hard. It actually fused with his Taiji depth heaven arts to create a literal chi vacuum.
Imagine having a move so greedy it just inhales the opponent's energy like a delicious milkshake.
Warren starts sweating a bit when he realizes that if the Jagal clan head hadn't stepped in, he might have accidentally deleted the old man's entire cultivation.
He's basically a walking cheat code at this point, and even he is a little terrified of how gluttonous his new powers are becoming.
But of course, being a typical Manhwa MC, he is already planning his next forbidden combo.
He is envisioning a world where he mixes the explosive red chi, the speed of the azure bamboo, and the dragon's might into one ultimate delete button for his enemies.
Talk about being a power-hungry genius.
While Warren is busy being a tactical mastermind, the rising Ghostblades are having a midlife crisis over their drinks.
They are looking at their leader and realizing that the fragile little master they used to protect has officially turned into a monster who treats legendary beasts like warm-up exercises.
They can't even process the fact that in just a few weeks, he took down the demonic blood lion and that azure cloud dragon clown.
It is a classic case of the side characters realizing they are becoming background decoration if they don't start grinding some levels immediately. The loyalty is real, though. They clench their fists and promise to train until their bones break, because nobody wants to be the dead weight in a squad led by a literal prodigy. It is a mix of inspiration and pure, unadulterated fear of being left behind in the dust. The hype in the room is reaching peak levels as they toast to their monstrous leader.
They are all in on the Tianzhong clan's comeback tour, but little do they know, a certain sore loser is currently losing his mind in a dark room somewhere.
Switch scenes to the ultimate salt mine.
Jiaquang is currently having a mental breakdown, muttering about witchery and sorcery like a common conspiracy theorist.
He literally cannot accept that he got clapped fairly, so his brain decided to just label Warren as a dark wizard to save his fragile ego. This man is looking like a total psycho, claws digging into the table while he rants about demons. It is a massive red flag that this guy isn't just defeated. He's completely unhinged and ready to do something incredibly stupid and dangerous.
Back on the road, Warren is riding his horse like he's in a Fast and Furious movie.
He is so eager to get home that he's basically trying to outrun his own shadow, forcing instructor Mo to ride up and play the role of the responsible adult before the horses literally drop dead from exhaustion. Mo hits him with some veteran wisdom, telling him that rushing blindly is the fastest way to lose the things that actually matter.
It is the classic mom lecture, and it actually works on our hyper-focused MC, who finally agrees to take a breather at a nearby spring.
As they settle down, Mo keeps a close eye on him.
She sees that Warren is perpetually on edge, his focus so sharp it could cut glass.
He is obsessed with breaking through his limits, but that kind of intensity usually attracts the wrong kind of attention in these stories. While the rest of the crew is relaxing and watering the horses, Warren is still in his own head, meditating and feeling the flow of the forest. Everything seems peaceful until his high-tier senses start screaming that they are being watched by something definitely not friendly. He snaps his head toward the trees, shouting for the coward in the shadows to show themselves. The ghost blades are on it in a second, drawing their blades and expecting some low-tier mountain bandits to jump out for an easy XP farm. But Warren knows better. He senses a massive amount of chi that no random bandit would ever have. This isn't just a mugging, it's a professional hit. He notices the masks are different from the previous assassins, and the aura feels way too orthodox to be a typical demonic cultist. The tension is thick enough to choke on as the shadows start to move. Warren is analyzing the vibes, realizing that whoever is coming for them has a very personal and very holy grudge.
It's the most dangerous kind of enemy, the one that thinks they're the hero of the story.
Suddenly, a figure emerges that makes everyone's skin crawl. It's not a new enemy, but a ghost from the recent past. The aura is suffocating, and the killing intent is so heavy it feels like the forest itself is turning dark and twisted. The intruder is muttering "found you" like a broken record, his eyes glowing with a madness that says he's long gone from the world of the saying.
The Ghost Blades realize this isn't a normal fight. They are dealing with a man who has traded his soul for a chance at revenge.
The mask drops and it is none other than Jiaquang, looking like he crawled straight out of a nightmare.
He's screaming about wretched demons and ruining his life, and it is clear he didn't come here to talk. The Salt King has returned for a round 2, and this time, he's brought a whole lot of crazy with him. Look at this absolute psycho. Jiaquang has officially lost his last 2 brain cells, showing up looking like a horror movie extra while screaming about demons.
He is not even trying to hide his thirst for blood anymore.
The ambushers finally step out of the shadows, and surprise, surprise, it is the Songcheng clan. These guys are so confident in their trap that they are not even bothering with masks. They have Warren and his group completely surrounded in the middle of nowhere.
Jiaquang starts barking like a mad dog, accusing Warren of being a demonic arts practitioner. He claims his superior senses can smell the dark energy on our boy. Talk about a massive red flag with a sword.
Warren takes one look at this clown and realizes he is dealing with a total basket case.
The guy has bulging veins, an unstable aura, and his inner chi is basically a dumpster fire. Jiaquang is deep into a state of severe chi deviation, driven mad by his own ego. Warren tries to get ready for the fight, but he hits a massive wall. His inner chi is as stagnant as a swamp.
He realizes something is very wrong, and that is when the madman starts laughing like a true villain.
The trap is finally sprung. Jiaquang asks how the spring water tasted, revealing he spiked their drinks with gentleman's poison. It is a nasty toxin designed to dissolve martial arts energy, turning elite warriors into defenseless targets. Our boy is absolutely livid. He calls out this orthodox swordsman for using such cowardly, underhanded tactics. But Jiaquang is too far gone, justifying his dirty play as a necessary sacrifice to kill a demon. The irony is actually painful.
Warren realizes the situation is beyond cooked.
Mo Biaong and the Rising Ghost Blades are looking like they have seen a ghost because they are now just civilians facing a small army of fully armed warriors. Mo Biaong decides to go full martyr mode, stepping forward to shield Warren.
She tells the guards to grab the young lord and run while she buys them a few seconds with her life.
It is dramatic, but Warren is not having any of it.
Warren shuts down the heroics with a cold, absolute command.
He refuses to let anyone die for him today.
He knows there is only one way out, and it involves waking up the monster sleeping inside his own soul.
With a look of pure determination, Warren decides to forcibly awaken his hidden power. He is basically choosing to play with fire to keep his friends from getting burned. It is a total pro-gamer move, but with life or death stakes. Boom.
A terrifying, blood-red aura explodes from Warren, lighting up the forest like a scene from hell.
Jiaquang starts screaming in vindication, happy that the demon has finally revealed its true colors.
Warren is barely holding it together as the old man's energy floods his body.
We are talking about 60 years of raw cultivation hitting him all at once. If his focus slips for even a millisecond, this power will devour his mind completely. Seeing the threat level go from 0 to 100, Jiaquang orders his clan to attack. They launch their unified circular assault formation, trying to crush Warren before he can fully stabilize that monstrous power. The weight of the alien chi makes Warren's body feel like it is made of lead. He is struggling to move while a dozen swords are coming for his head. The Songcheng warriors are moving in for the kill, thinking they have the upper hand. Through the blur of red energy, Warren sees a blade closing in on Mo Biao. That is the final trigger. He channels all that overwhelming, chaotic power into a single, desperate strike to protect his master.
He unleashes the heavenly lightning ascension, but it is warped by that demonic red aura into something much more terrifying.
It is not a clean strike anymore. It is a devastating shockwave of pure destruction. The explosion is massive, leveling the entire clearing in an instant. The Songchun warriors are scattered like leaves in a hurricane. It is absolute chaos, and the power level is just off the charts. Amidst the dust and debris, Mo Byaung is left coughing and staring in total disbelief.
She cannot wrap her head around how a novice like Weren could pull off such a high-level sword art, even if it looked wrong.
The rising ghost blades start checking themselves for holes and are shocked to find they are completely unharmed. Weren somehow managed to control that insane blast radius with surgical precision, sparing his allies while nuking the enemies. But the victory is bittersweet. As the smoke finally clears, the group frantically calls out for their young lord.
The spot where Weren was standing is completely empty, leaving nothing but a massive crater and a lot of questions.
The scene shifts, and we see Weren's consciousness drifting in a hazy, unknown void.
He is totally out of it, but his first instinctual thought is still the safety of his master.
This boy is a simp for his teacher's safety, and we love to see it.
He finally starts to wake up, but the surroundings are completely alien. He is not in the forest anymore.
The heavenly lightning really did a number on him, sending him to who knows where.
Weren sits up, looking around at a place that looks way too peaceful for the nightmare he just escaped. He is confused, we are confused, and the mystery just keeps building. As he stares at the strange horizon, the reality sinks in. He survived the ambush, but at what cost? Our boy is lost in a new location with a monster inside him, and things are about to get even crazier.
Imagine being stuck in a mental waiting room while a literal demonic ghost takes your body for a joyride.
Weren is currently trapped in a dark mind space, realizing that the old man has officially hijacked the wheel and is about to turn his friends into past tense.
Back in the real world, Weren's body is moving with a walk so cursed even a horror movie director would tell him to chill. His companions are just sitting ducks because that poison is draining their chi faster than a battery on a cold day.
Mo Byaung looks at her student and realizes the lights are on but nobody is home. Well, nobody's sane. She is staring at a monster using her student as a skin suit, and the vibes are officially immaculate for a massacre. Even though she is terrified, Mo is not about to let this old man entity delete her team.
She starts screaming Weren's name, reminding him of his vow to protect the clan like a mother catching her kid doing something scandalous. That desperate shouting actually works. For a split second, Weren manages to fight through the mental static, giving Mo the tiny window she needs to stop him from becoming a serial killer.
Mo moves like a blur, striking Weren's acupressure points to shut down the chaotic energy before he accidentally kills everyone he ever cared about.
Talk about a high-stakes acupuncture session.
Weren finally collapses, but the relief is paper thin.
He realizes that the red chi is not just a power-up. It is a sentient parasite that is basically just waiting for him to blink so it can eat his soul. The internal monster literally leaves a to-be-continued message, telling Weren that next time he won't be getting his body back so easily. This old man is the ultimate toxic roommate, and he is not planning on moving out. While Weren is out cold, Mo Byaung has a massive problem. Jiaquang saw the whole demonic transformation, and in this world, being a demonic cult member is the quickest way to get cancelled by the entire martial arts community. One of the rising ghost blades decides to be the designated adult and loots Jiaquang's body for the antidote.
He has that I am about to do something unethical look in his eyes, and honestly, we are here for the ruthlessness.
Mo realizes that Weren's kill or be killed energy is starting to rub off on everyone. The guard straight up says he will handle the witness, which is polite martial arts talk for making sure Jiaquang never breathes again. While the dirty work happens off-screen, we have Namwook being the group's resident clown.
He decides to test the antidote by just chugging it, claiming he can tell it is not poison because it smells dry. Bro, that is some Darwin Award logic right there.
Namwook is lucky he is a protagonist-adjacent character, because drinking random tubes of liquid in a forest is usually a one-way ticket to the afterlife.
His brother is rightfully losing his mind over how stupid this plan was.
Along with the medicine, they find a golden token that looks way too expensive for a martial maniac like Jiaquang to own. It is a VIP pass to see the top beauty in Hunan, proving that even the villains have simp energy. He knows the only way to not become a demonic puppet is to master the Taiji Depth Heaven Tome immediately.
It is basically a race against time before the old man decides he wants to go for another walk.
The squad shows Warren the looted token, and he is genuinely confused why a guy like Jiaquang would care about courtesans.
But Emo stops the small talk because she wants answers about that spooky red energy that almost ended their careers.
Warren tries to play it cool, but Mo's mom's stare is more powerful than any demonic chi. Before he spills the tea, he asks what happened to Jiaquang, and the guards give him the "he disappeared" line with a wink and a nudge.
The atmosphere gets awkward fast as Warren realizes his team has officially joined the dark side to protect his secrets.
He accepts the lie because, let's be real, a living witness would have been a total vibe killer. Just as the drama is peaking, the innkeeper bursts in like he owns the place, which he does, and tells them to get out.
Apparently, some rich snobs rented the whole building, and he does not care if they are injured heroes or not.
Warren is ready to throw hands until he hears the name of the clients, the Sky Ocean Merchant Union. His face drops because that is the exact clan he was forced to marry into in his past life. Talk about a traumatic reunion. These are the same in-laws who treated him like garbage before his reincarnation. Seeing their flags outside is giving Warren some serious, previous life, PTSD. The past is literally knocking on the door, and Warren has to decide if he is going to hide or show his former in-laws that this time, the son-in-law they bullied has a demonic god living in his ribcage. Look at this massive flex. The Sky Ocean Merchant Union basically owns the economy, but for our boy Warren, this isn't just a business empire. It is the source of his worst nightmares. In his previous life, he was the master of all this gold, only to be stabbed in the back by his own wife. Talk about a toxic relationship reaching legendary levels.
The local innkeeper is literally shaking in his boots, begging Warren and his crew to get lost because the union is coming to town.
But Warren isn't about to let some overblown merchant group bully him out of a meal, even if the vibes are officially cursed. Mo Biaong tries to be the voice of reason, whispering that the union isn't just rich, they have enough military muscle to flatten a small country. He is basically telling Warren to check his ego before they all end up as decorative floor mats. Enter the resident NPC with a superiority complex. This guard walks in like he owns the air everyone is breathing and starts mocking Warren. He calls our lead a sickly invalid who should be rotting in a bed instead of playing adventurer. Honestly, the audacity of this jobber is off the charts. Warren gives him the deadliest stare down in history, asking if he looks like a dying man right now.
The guard doesn't take the hint and doubles down, claiming their request for the group to leave is actually a demand that nobody is allowed to refuse.
This is where Warren loses his patience.
He looks this clown in the eye and asks how an orthodox faction acting like common thugs is any different from a demonic sect. Shots fired, and they hit right in the pride. The guard is absolutely fuming now, but Warren holds the moral high ground like a boss.
He points out the sheer disrespect of a mere merchant guard raising his voice at the heir of a martial clan.
It is a total power move that leaves the guard sputtering in rage. To settle this like actual men, Warren challenges the guy to a duel under the laws of the Jianghu. Mo Biaong is internally screaming, but Warren knows that if he backs down now, the entire Tianzhong clan will be branded as a pack of cowards.
Our hero realizes this fight was written in the stars the moment he heard the union's name.
He slips into a combat state, and suddenly, the world slows down. He is locked in and ready to show this guard that being an invalid was so last lifetime. The fight kicks off, and it is a total embarrassment for the bully.
Warren is moving like a ghost, dodging every single swing with the kind of grace that makes you wonder if he is even human.
The guard is swinging at air while Warren just vibing.
The crowd is losing their minds because the rumors said Warren couldn't even walk without coughing up a lung.
Seeing him move this fast is making everyone question if the news in this world is just one big prank.
Warren is dominating the exchange so hard it is barely a fight anymore.
He is proving that all those sickly rumors were absolute nonsense, and the guard is starting to realize he picked a fight with a literal monster in a silk robe.
Just as Warren is about to finish the job, a sharp female voice cuts through the air, demanding they stop.
Warren freezes instantly, and his blood turns to ice as a carriage door opens.
This isn't just anyone. This is the main event of his trauma.
It is Hua Wungkyung, the daughter of the union master and the treacherous ex-wife who ruined his previous life. She looks at him with this annoying sense of intrigue, calling him a hidden dragon. She has no idea she is talking to the man she betrayed in another timeline. She flashes a charming smile and invites Warren for a meal, probably thinking she found a new toy to play with. The bodyguards are already dreaming about the free wine, but Warren looks like he wants to jump out of his own skin just to get away from her. Warren hits her with a polite but firm rejection, claiming he has urgent business. The bodyguards are devastated about the missed booze, but Warren doesn't care.
As he walks away, Wong Kyung mutters that their paths are definitely going to cross again. Talk about a stage 5 clinger.
Once they are clear of her, Warren starts trembling like he is in the middle of a blizzard.
The psychological damage of seeing his murderer wife is hitting him like a freight train.
His guards think he is sick again, but this is pure, unadulterated PTSD.
He pushes his crew away, claiming he needs to clear his head with some solo training in the woods. He is desperately trying to convince himself that the past is dead and she can't hurt him anymore, but his hands won't stop shaking.
Warren tries to find some peace, but the universe clearly hates him today. He hears the sound of metal clashing and bones breaking nearby.
He creeps through the brush to see what is going on, hoping for a distraction from his own thoughts.
His eyes widen in total shock as he spots a familiar face in the clearing. It is Gochiok, the heir of the Serpent Dragon sect, and he is in the middle of a brutal slaughter.
Fate is really testing Warren today, throwing one enemy after another at him. Gochiok is standing there with that terrifying dog of his, and it looks like Warren's quiet meditation session just turned into a front-row seat to a bloodbath.
Imagine being a top-tier warrior and getting cornered by a mid-tier villain and his overgrown puppy.
Gochiok from the Serpent Dragon sect is out here acting like he owns the place, demanding some mysterious treasure from a total stranger while his black wolf snarls like it hasn't been fed in a week.
Gochiok thinks he is a genius, bragging that his mutt can smell prey from 50 kilometers away.
He is convinced this vagabond is hiding the demonic poison stone flower, but little does he know, he is barking up the completely wrong tree. Our boy Warren is watching this whole circus from the sidelines, sweating bullets because the flower is actually hidden in his own robes.
It turns out the wolf is just confused by the lingering scent, and Warren realizes he accidentally framed an innocent man for his own heist.
Gochiok is the definition of a loudmouthed loser, announcing his title to the whole world like anyone actually cares. He even offers a reward to anyone who helps him catch the stranger, proving that he is too much of a coward to do his own dirty work. The stranger finally drops his name, Jong Seok, and tells Gochiok that he will be meeting the king of hell by the end of the day. Warren notices that even though this guy looks like a hobo, he carries himself with the elegance of a highborn elite warrior.
The fight kicks off and it is a total mess because Gochiok is such a trash leader that he starts slicing through his own subordinates just to get a hit in.
Jong Seok is visibly disgusted, calling out the guy for being a disgrace even by demonic standards.
Watching the exchange, Warren finally connects the dots and realizes why the name Jong Seok sounds so familiar.
This is not just some random vagabond. This is a future legend who is supposed to become a major player in the martial world.
The realization hits Warren like a freight train as he remembers the title, the hero amongst demons.
This guy is destined to rival the strongest beings under the heavens, but right now he is about to get folded because of a flower he does not even have. Warren recalls the lore that Jong Seok was the last disciple of the hidden saint cult, a man who walked a dark path but kept a heart of gold.
If he dies here, the entire future timeline is going to be a total disaster, all because of Warren's sticky fingers. A massive wave of guilt washes over Warren as he watches the future legend struggle.
He cannot just sit there and eat popcorn while an innocent powerhouse gets executed for a crime Warren actually committed. Just as Gochiok prepares to deliver the finishing blow, Warren decides to stop being a spectator and makes his grand entrance. He steps out of the shadows with a cold command to stop, halting the execution in its tracks and confusing the hell out of everyone. Gochiok is fuming, recognizing Warren as the young master who won a duel earlier that day. He tries to pull the "this is none of your business" card, warning Warren that the Serpent Dragon sect is not a group he wants to mess with. The crowd of onlookers is absolutely stunned, whispering about how this young lord is basically committing social suicide by standing up to such a powerful sect.
Everyone else is too scared to even breathe, but Warren is just standing there looking unbothered. Jong Seok tries to be a hero and tells Warren to run away so he does not get dragged into this mess.
But Warren has already made up his mind. And he is not about to let a future legend get turned into wolf food on his watch.
The spectators are calling Warren the Sword Demon now, noting that his vibe is getting darker and more intense by the second.
They realize he is choosing the path of righteousness, even if it means fighting the entire Jianghu.
Warren gives a speech about righteousness that would make a saint cry, but internally he is just trying to fix his own mess.
He tells Jang Seok to stand back, because this fight is not actually about him anymore. It is about Warren cleaning up his tracks. Gochiok is done talking and lunges forward like a rabid animal. But he is about to find out that Warren is in a completely different league. The power gap is so massive that Gochiok's brain practically short-circuits trying to understand how a kid can be this strong. The clash is explosive, with Warren's blue chi lighting up the entire area as he humbles the sect leader. Gochiok is sweating now, realizing that if he stays any longer, he is going to be the one meeting the king of hell. Realizing he is totally outmatched, Gochiok does the most villain thing possible and orders a full retreat while shouting empty threats.
He thinks Warren has the flower and promises that they will meet again soon to settle the score. As the cowards run away, Warren realizes he has one major problem left: that damn black wolf.
If that dog lives, it will just track the scent of the flower back to him later, and he will never have a moment of peace. Warren decides to tie up the loose ends with extreme prejudice, prepping a high-level technique.
He is not letting that four-legged GPS escape to tell his master where the treasure is hidden. He unleashes the Soaring Dragon Emperor Sword, using a flying sword technique that looks absolutely insane.
The blade cuts through the air with lethal precision, targeting the beast that is currently bolting for the exit. The sword strikes true, ending the tracking wolf in a single, clean hit. Jang Seok is left speechless by the display of power, wondering who this mysterious young master actually is.
With the dog dead and the enemies gone, Warren finally lets out a long sigh of relief.
He managed to save a future legend and cover his own tracks in one go, proving once again that he is the ultimate player in this game. Look at this guy.
The dust has not even settled and the crowd is already losing their minds over Warren's move.
They are analyzing his technique like it is a freaking science project, claiming it looks like the hidden saint cult, but with the majesty of a soaring dragon. Talk about main character energy.
Warren is just standing there trying to act humble, but we all know he is loving every second of this.
Even he is surprised he pulled off that flying sword move. Meanwhile, the spectators are basically foaming at the mouth because they have never seen anything this flashy. Some mustache guy in the back decides Warren needs a nickname because apparently, in this world, you are nobody until you have a title that sounds like a budget energy drink. He suggests Flying Dragon Sword Hero, and everyone just starts screaming it like they are at a rock concert.
The chant Flying Dragon Sword Hero is echoing through the entire forest.
Warren is internally doing a victory dance because he finally got a cool nickname in the Jianghu.
He even turns to his master with a smug look, asking if she thinks it sounds badass.
Enter Mo Biao, the ultimate buzzkill.
She literally appears behind him like a vengeful spirit, asking if he is pleased with himself. She has only been gone for a minute and this local simp is already getting into life-or-death duels for clout. She starts lecturing him about how the Songchun clan has too many rules, while the Serpent Dragon sect is basically a hive of honorless snakes. But then, she drops the act and admits she is actually proud of him for beating their heir without getting a single scratch.
A rare moment of masterly affection, guys.
The drama shifts to Jang Seok, who finally wakes up and realizes he is not dead.
He is looking at Warren like he is a literal god. He immediately starts bowing and thanking this stranger for saving his life and patching up his wounds. Talk about a glow-up for his reputation. Seok is so overwhelmed by the kindness that he is ready to do anything to repay the debt. Warren, being the opportunistic genius he is, decides to offer him a job. Why find a bodyguard when you can just save a legendary swordsman and make him your contract worker? Warren reaches out a hand and offers a formal contract.
He is playing the hero card perfectly, but we all know he just wants a buff guy to take hits for him.
Seok is basically crying at this point because he has never met someone this generous.
Then comes the flex. Warren drops a massive bag of money on the table. He knows this vagabond is desperate for cash, and Seok looks at the silver like it is a miracle.
Our boy Warren is literally buying loyalty with a smile.
We finally get the sob story. Seok has a younger sister who is sick with some rare illness, and the medicine costs more than a mansion.
This money is not just for him, it is for her recovery.
Suddenly, the vibe gets all emotional and Warren looks like a saint.
Warren tells him to bring his sister along because they are going to be staying together for a while.
Master Mo is in the background doing wine math, whispering that the money he just gave away could have bought 10 bottles of the good stuff.
She really has her priorities straight.
The bodyguards are also questioning the investment, but Warren shut them down fast.
He predicts that Seok is going to be a legend one day, so befriending him now for a few silver coins is basically the stock market move of the century. He is playing 4D chess while they are playing checkers.
But then, Warren drops the real bombshell.
Instead of heading home to the Tianzhong clan, they are taking a detour to Zhengzhou.
The entire crew is losing their minds because they have already finished the mission.
Why keep traveling when you could be home drinking? The bodyguards and Mo Biang are protesting loudly, but Warren is not budging. They have the elixir and they visited the in-laws, so this sudden change of plans feels like a total red flag to them. But Warren has a secret that would make their heads explode. Internally, Warren is freaking out because his red chi is acting up again. If he does not master the Taiji Depth Heaven Tome, his body is going to go boom. He needs a specific person in Zhengzhou to save him from becoming a demonic firework. He lies to his crew, claiming he already sent a messenger pigeon to his dad. He orders them to shut up and prepare to leave by morning. Mo Biang looks suspicious as hell, but Warren is a professional liar.
Nobody can predict what this sword hero is actually thinking.
The next morning, Seok arrives with his sister, Zhang Munhai.
She is shy, cute, and clearly the reason her brother is such a beast.
Warren greets them warmly, probably already calculating how to use this new duo to his advantage. Warren introduces his own team, roasting them by saying they are warriors who care more about wine than actual protection. The bodyguards are posing in the background like they are in a boy band, looking absolutely offended that their boss is exposing their drinking habits. Warren reveals a fancy carriage for the sick girl, but when he asks his man Namwoop to drive it, the guy starts complaining. He is a warrior, not a chauffeur, right? Wrong. Warren knows exactly how to handle these alcoholics. He pulls out a bottle of the legendary golden wine and announces that whoever drives the carriage for the day gets a cup. Suddenly, these elite warriors are ready to throw hands and fight for the reins.
They are literally trampling each other for a taste of that booze.
The scene ends with the bodyguards brawling over who gets to be the coachman, while Warren just laughs. The squad is finally moving toward Zhengzhou, and while the camaraderie is growing, Warren's demonic secrets are still ticking like a time bomb.
This journey is going to be a disaster, and I am here for it.
We start with our crew rolling through the countryside like they are on a luxury vacation, but the vibe is about to get awkward. The local meathead Seok is literally vibrating with curiosity because he cannot get over the flashy moves Warren pulled against that serpent dragonair earlier. Seok drops all sense of manners and asks Warren straight up if his martial arts are some kind of secret clan technique. His sister tries to hush him up because asking a warrior about his secret moves is basically like asking for a punch in the face, but Seok is too much of a gym bro to care. Warren is internally smirking because he knows exactly why Seok is suspicious. Since Seok is a direct disciple of the Hidden Saint cult, he definitely recognized the roots of the sword style. To keep his cover from blowing, Warren plays it cool and claims some random ancestor learned it from a master ages ago. Seok apologizes for being a creep, but he is not dropping it that easily. He flashes a grin that screams trouble and challenges Warren to a friendly spar after dinner. He is convinced Warren was holding back his true power in the last fight, and he wants to see the real deal firsthand. Warren accepts the challenge because why not?
It is time to show this buff disciple that there are levels to this game.
As the sun sets, the tension rises, and Seok is looking way too excited to get his butt kicked by our main man. Under the moonlight, the two warriors finally clash, and it is absolute fire. Swords are clashing and sparks are flying everywhere as they dance around each other. Seok is pushing hard, trying to find any opening in Warren's defense, but our boy is moving like a ghost. After a flurry of blows that probably woke up every bird in the forest, they finally back off. Seok is huffing and puffing like he just ran a marathon, while Warren looks like he barely broke a sweat. The gap in their stamina is actually hilarious. Seok has seen enough to confirm his theory.
He realizes that Warren's Soaring Dragon Emperor sword is actually a modified, watered-down version of his cult's legendary demonic Dragon Emperor sword.
He is confused why such a godly technique feels so diluted and weak in Warren's hands. Later that night, Seok huddles up with his sister Munhai to spill the tea.
He explains that Warren's foundation is literally perfect, but his technique is being choked out by some trash-tier cultivation method.
It is like putting cheap fuel in a supercar, and it is driving the martial arts nerd in him crazy.
Seok is feeling extra grateful because Warren saved his sister and basically gave her her life back. He decides that the only way to repay this massive debt is to give Warren the missing piece of the puzzle, the authentic hidden Saint Cult Chi cultivation technique.
He tells his sister that he will pass down the secret himself, but they have to keep it on the low. He does not want to drag Warren's clan into the drama of their fallen cult. It is a classic, you scratch my back, I give you a forbidden power-up situation. Manhwa looks worried because their cult has a dark history, and reviving it through Warren might be against the heavens. But Seok is firm, repaying kindness comes first. They are basically treating Warren like the chosen one who can finally handle their legacy. Fast forward to the next morning, and the scenery is looking like a high-budget romance anime.
Warren is out for a stroll, probably enjoying the fact that his plan is working perfectly.
He is just waiting for the siblings to take the bait he laid out. Manhwa approaches him, looking all nervous and troubled.
She starts talking about how she does not know how to repay his great kindness. Warren puts on his best I am just a humble hero face and acts like he did not do anything special. She finally drops the bomb and offers to teach him their clan's secret chi technique.
Warren feigns shock, acting like such a profound gift is way too much for a simple favor. Inside, this man is probably screaming with joy because he just hit the jackpot.
We get the classic accidental physical contact trope as she grabs his hand to insist he accepts. Both of them start blushing like teenagers in a middle school hallway.
Warren finally gives in, acting like he is doing them a favor by taking their most prized secret. The deal is sealed, and Warren officially secures the key to harmonizing his messy energies. He is now one step closer to becoming an absolute monster, and all it took was a little bit of acting and some strategic chivalry.
Meanwhile, Mo Byung is watching from the distance, clutching her chest and feeling some type of way.
The redhead bodyguard is clearly catching feelings, and the jealousy is starting to simmer.
We love a good complicated romance subplot while the world is ending.
The group finally reaches the massive city of Zhengzhou.
It is bustling, loud, and exactly where Warren needs to be for the next phase of his master plan. The bodyguards are just happy to see a bed that is not made of grass and dirt.
Warren tries to pull a lone wolf move and tells everyone to go rest at the inn while he slips away. But Mo Byung is not having it.
She refuses to let him out of her sight after his recent reckless stunts, so he is stuck with a chaperone.
Our duo wanders through the city until they find a local innkeeper.
Warren asks for the whereabouts of a man called the Omniscient One. He expects a simple answer, but the innkeeper just starts laughing like he heard the joke of the century.
The innkeeper tells them they are way too late. Apparently, the famous fortune teller is currently rotting in a dungeon and is scheduled to be beheaded tomorrow. Warren is shook because his main source of info is about to lose his head. The scandal is wild. The Omniscient One read the fortune of a powerful clan's daughter. She followed his advice, went completely insane, and then drowned herself. Talk about a bad Yelp review.
Now the Sangwon clan wants his blood for vengeance.
Warren realizes his simple meeting has just spiraled into a high-stakes jailbreak mission.
He is now on a collision course with another powerful clan, and things just got a whole lot more complicated.
Welcome to the hero life, where nothing ever goes according to plan.
Meet Nin Myingwak, the so-called Omniscient One. This guy built a whole career on fortune-telling and exorcism, but he is actually a secret envoy for the Bay cult. You know, the kind of cult that likes to play with souls like they are Legos. Too bad his omniscience did not help him avoid getting caught. Our boy Warren is desperate to find this shady sorcerer because he has got a literal monster spirit called the Old Man squatting in his body. But just as he is making plans, he hears the local gossip. The Omniscient One is getting his head chopped off tomorrow. Talk about a deadline from hell. While Warren is busy stressing out in the middle of the street, a wild noble girl appears.
It is Sangwon Yuseol, and she is shocked to see Lady Jaegal so far from her home turf.
The girls start the usual polite small talk, but you can feel the awkwardness from a mile away.
Jaegal Yohee is a professional liar, so she immediately cooks up a story about visiting a sick friend. She introduces Warren to the curious noblewoman, who is clearly wondering why this handsome guy is hanging around.
Warren just puts on his best poker face and plays along with the drama. When Yuseol asks what Warren is doing in Zhengzhou, he pulls a lie straight out of his sleeve.
He claims his clan entrusted a super important item to the Omniscient One and he is just here to pick it up.
He sounds so sincere you would almost forget he is actually hunting a death row inmate.
Yusiel drops a bombshell that ruins the mood. Apparently, the sorcerer committed a massive crime against her family and is currently rotting in their dungeon.
Wherein acts like his world is ending, pretending that his clan is doomed if he does not get that imaginary item back.
This is where Warren turns into a total Rizmaster. He looks absolutely devastated, acting like a tragic hero in a low-budget soap opera. He needs to get into that dungeon, and he knows exactly which heartstrings to pull to make this sheltered noble girl do his bidding.
In a move that would make any K-drama lead jealous, Warren grabs Yusiel's hands and begs for her help.
Poor girl turns redder than a tomato.
She completely misreads the situation, thinking this is some kind of romantic proposal in the middle of the street.
Simp mode activated.
Flustered and probably already planning their wedding, Yusiel promises to talk to her father and sprints away. Warren drops the act the second she is out of sight. He is not here for love, he is here for an exorcism.
He tells his party to head to the inn while he prepares to infiltrate the Sanguine estate. Warren is actually impressed when he sees the Sanguine clan's territory. It is twice the size of his own clan's place. But before he can admire the architecture, Yohei gives him that look.
She has seen through his little hand-holding performance and knows he is up to something scandalous.
Yohei calls him out, mocking how affectionate he was with a girl he just met.
She knows Warren is a cold-blooded schemer who does nothing without a reason. She warns him that the Sanguine patriarch is going to reject him instantly because of some ancient beef between their families.
Yohei offers a deal that smells like a trap.
She knows how to manipulate the patriarch, but Warren has to pay up. Her price? He has to pretend to be her lover to scare off all the annoying noble simps who keep trying to marry her.
It is the fake dating trope, and Warren is forced to sign the contract.
Warren realizes that the political marriage drama in this life is moving way faster than the last one.
He accepts the deal because he has no choice.
Yohei reveals her master plan. Do not bother convincing the patriarch, just make sure the wife is on your side.
The real power always stays in the kitchen. They enter the main hall to meet Patriarch Sanguine Byakin and his wife, Hyangyo. The patriarch takes one look at Warren and starts scowling like he just smelled something rotten.
He tells Warren he looks exactly like his father, and in this world, that is definitely not a compliment.
Just as predicted, the patriarch shuts him down immediately.
He is not letting a Tianzhong kid anywhere near his prisoner.
But Warren is ready. He remembers the plan and prepares to give the performance of a lifetime. If you cannot win with logic, you win with a mental breakdown. Warren falls to his knees, clutching his chest and acting like he is about to die on the spot. He tells the matriarch that he is possessed by a vengeful ghost, and only the omniscient one can save him. It is pure cinema.
The lady of the house is horrified by his tragic suffering. Lady Ha is not having it. She turns on her husband and starts roasting him for being a petty old man.
She screams at him for taking out his past grudges on a poor, sick child. The patriarch tries to argue, but you can see his soul leaving his body as his wife goes full savage mode on him. The patriarch completely crumbles under the pressure of his wife's fury.
He begrudgingly gives the order to let Warren into the dungeon.
Warren is probably smirking on the inside. Never underestimate the power of a wife who thinks she is protecting a victim.
Mission accomplished.
As he is led down into the dark, damp prison, Warren wonders what kind of scandalous drama happened between his dad and the patriarch.
But he has got bigger fish to fry. He finally reaches the cell of the man who holds the key to his survival. It is time to face the sorcerer.
Nan Myangwak is just sitting there, waiting for the executioner, until he sees Warren.
The second he uses his spiritual sight, his face goes pale. He does not see a young master. He sees a walking nightmare. He starts trembling like a leaf, sensing the monstrous entity hiding inside Warren's soul. The sorcerer starts screaming in pure terror, asking what kind of freak Warren is. He is supposed to be the master of souls, but even he is horrified by the darkness Warren is carrying.
The old man's spirit is finally showing its true colors, and even a death row psycho is scared out of his mind.
The guards are confused, but Warren just stands there looking like a boss. He finally has the sorcerer right where he wants him.
The guy who was resigned to death is now begging for mercy from a teenager. The real game is just beginning, and things are about to get very, very violent.
Nan Myangwak is literally rattling his chains in fear.
He realizes that whatever is inside Warren is far more dangerous than any executioner.
Warren just stares him down with those cold eyes, letting the pressure sink in.
He did not come here for a fortune, he came to reclaim his life.
The chapter ends with the sorcerer losing his mind as the red aura of the old man's spirit begins to flare up.
Warren has successfully cornered the only person who can help him, but the question is, can the sorcerer survive the encounter with the monster inside him?
Stay tuned, because the Riz is over and the nightmare has just started. Imagine being a legendary soul master and getting vibe checked by a teenager in a dungeon. Warren walks in looking like an absolute menace, and the prisoner is already shaking like he saw a ghost. Which, to be fair, he basically did. Our boy doesn't do small talk. He looks this terrified man in the eye and tells him he needs help talking to the supernatural squatter living inside his soul. The prisoner tries to play dumb, but Warren isn't having it.
Warren drops the ultimate "I know your secret" card, revealing that this isn't just a random prisoner, but an emissary of the Bay cult.
These guys are the CEOs of soul manipulation, and Warren just exposed him like a common fraud. Realizing he is dealing with a certified monster in a kid's body, the prisoner, Manhwa, decides to negotiate. He will help Warren with his ghost problem, but only if Warren stops his neck from meeting a blade tomorrow. Saving him won't be easy since the patriarch is a stubborn old man, but Manhwa reveals the secret sauce.
The patriarch's daughter, Mijung, isn't just sick, she is currently hosting a mental roommate she didn't ask for. It turns out the girl practiced some sketchy split-body sword art and now her mind is fractured.
The clan locked the fortune teller up just to keep their dangerous martial arts from becoming local gossip. Talk about toxic family management. The plan is as crazy as it sounds.
They are going to use the absolute unit of a soul inside Warren to basically go into the girl's mind and delete her second personality like a bad file. Manhwa warns him that this is a triple threat gamble where all three of them could end up dead.
Warren just smirks because he knows he is the main character and risk is just a Tuesday for him. Warren somehow pulls the ultimate "trust me bro" on the patriarch and actually walks the prisoner right out of the dungeon. Manhwa is stunned that the kid actually handled that stubborn old fool so easily. As they head to the girl's room, the patriarch is still being a major red flag, threatening to wipe out Warren's entire clan if a single hair on his daughter's head gets messed up. Very dramatic, 0 out of 10 parenting. Warren just ignores the threats and prepares for the ritual. He is focused on the goal while the adults in the room are busy having a mental breakdown over the stakes.
They arrive at the daughter's quarters where she is looking like she is in a deep sleep.
Warren takes his position, sitting cross-legged like a pro while Manhwa starts the spooky stuff. Out comes the knife.
A little blood on the floor and some glowing magic circles later, and the ritual is officially in full swing.
This isn't your average Sunday school session.
Manhwa starts opening Warren's upper energy core to wake up the beast inside.
He warns Warren to stay focused and ignore any whispers, because once that door opens, there is no closing it.
The enchantment is supposed to suppress the soul's power while they transfer it, but Manhwa's hands are shaking. He is trying to be the boss, but we all know Warren is the one running the show. Suddenly, the red glow goes from cool aesthetic to "we are all going to die." Manhwa starts panicking, screaming that the soul's power is way stronger than he calculated. His control is shattering like glass. Warren's consciousness gets yanked into a dark void. The old man finally speaks up, and he sounds incredibly offended that Warren is trying to use him as a glorified vacuum cleaner for someone else's soul. The entity finally stops playing the mysterious roommate and drops his title, the Demonic Master. This is the legendary powerhouse that everyone in this world fears, and he is currently living rent-free in our boy's head.
The demonic master starts the ultimate roast, mocking Warren for being a pathetic, crying weakling in his previous life.
He is basically the world's worst life coach, reminding Warren of every failure.
He brings up Yanawa, Warren's loyal maid, calling her a frail and ugly old woman who died for a loser. This ghost really chose violence today, hitting Warren right where it hurts the most.
Warren is paralyzed in the spirit realm, forced to listen to this ancient jerk talk trash about the only people he ever cared about.
The ghost thinks he has already won the mental battle.
But Warren's rage is built different.
He snaps out of the paralysis and snarls at the ancient ghost to shut his mouth.
He is not that crying kid anymore, and he makes sure the demonic master knows it.
With eyes glowing like he is ready to end the world, Warren vows that he will eventually find a way to kill the ghost for good. The demonic master just laughs like a maniac, loving the spicy attitude. The entity admits he likes Warren's spirit, but says the time isn't right for their final showdown.
He is going to keep watching from the shadows, waiting for Warren to either become a god or crash and burn.
The vision fades as the entity retreats back into the darkness. Warren is left back in the real world, breathing hard but more determined than ever to turn his internal demon into his personal servant. Our boy Warren snaps back to reality like he just survived a spiritual car crash, and honestly, the old man Manhwa looks even worse.
The omniscient one is sweating buckets and spitting blood, admitting that Warren barely made it through the front door of this ritual.
But don't get comfortable because the party is just starting. Manhwa warns that the soul diving session is only in phase 1, and they have to dive into Sangwon Mijong's broken brain right now, or everything goes up in smoke.
Warren is told to play brain surgeon and place his hand on the girl's head to guide that chaotic old man's energy straight into her upper core. It's basically like trying to fix a computer by shoving a lightning bolt into the motherboard. The mission is simple but psycho. Find the real personality hiding in the girl's mind and delete the fake one like a bad browser extension. If Warren messes up, she stays a vegetable, and he's basically the one who pulled the plug.
Suddenly, the world shifts, and Warren is standing in a surreal memory of the Sangwon clan.
He is forced to watch a highlight reel of Mijong's life, seeing her go from a cute kid to a girl whose psyche literally gets sliced in half by her own martial arts.
It's a total tragedy porn flashback as he witnesses the exact moment her mind fractured into two.
Watching someone's sanity break in 4K is a lot, even for a regressor who's seen everything. When the movie ends, Warren finds himself facing double trouble.
Two identical Mijongs appear out of nowhere. One greets him like a waifu while the other looks like she's ready to file a restraining order and call him an intruder.
The twins start circling him like he's a piece of meat, playfully mocking his confusion. They want to know if he's staring because they are pretty or if he's just failing the ultimate spot the difference challenge. One of the sisters gets way too close for comfort, daring him to pick the real one.
Most guys would be simping, but Warren is just standing there thinking about how both of these girls have major red flags written all over them. Warren isn't falling for the bait because he realizes something the omniscient old man missed.
If one was a fake clone, they'd have the same boring personality, but these two are total opposites, which means the ritual's logic is already flawed. He calmly shuts down their teasing, revealing he's already solved the riddle. He remembers what the sister Yuseol said. Mijong was always a weird mix of mischievous and detached.
She didn't have a fake self, she just had a very complicated one. Warren drops the mic and delivers the verdict: there is no fake to erase. They are just two halves of the same chaotic whole that got ripped apart by that split-body sword art. He's basically telling her to stop the identity crisis and just be herself.
The entire mindscape starts to crumble because Warren's truth is too much for the world to handle.
Mijong admits he's right, but then she hits him with a plot twist that makes his heart skip a beat. Their energy cores are linked, and she's been peeking at his search history. She looks him dead in the eye and calls him by his secret title, Young Warren, leader of the Sky Ocean Merchant Union. Our hero's poker face officially breaks because this girl just saw his entire past life and his regression secret. She realizes they are basically soulmates in trauma, both carrying two different lives inside one body. It's a rare moment of actual connection, where someone finally sees Warren for the flying dragon sword hero and the failed merchant he used to be. Before she disappears to merge back together, she promises she won't remember this scandalous gossip when she wakes up. She just asks him to take care of her true self, leaving Warren alone in the dark as he's pulled back to the physical world.
Back in the room, Manhwa is acting like a clueless NPC, asking if he successfully murdered the fake personality.
Warren just sits there in silence, realizing that for the first time, someone actually understood the heavy burden of his regression.
As Mijong sleeps peacefully, Warren is left with a massive existential crisis. He wonders if he's the failed loser from his first life or the overpowered hero of his second, or if, just like Mijong, he's just a messy combination of both.
Look at her coughing up blood like she just survived a 1v1 with a truck. But do not worry, it is just the stagnant energy leaving her body because our boy Warren is basically a walking cheat code. The ritual is a success and the lady is finally back from the brink of death. She wakes up looking like she missed 100 years of sleep, staring at Warren with those hazy eyes. She admits she faintly remembers his face, but her memory of their little soul bonding session in the mindscape is completely wiped.
Typical.
Confused and probably wondering why a total stranger is in her room, she asks why someone from the Tianzhong clan would risk everything to save her. Warren just hits her with the cold shoulder, acting like he did not just dive into her soul.
Instead of explaining his heroics, he just deflects the question and tells her to focus on her family.
He is playing it cool, but we all know he is just trying to avoid the thank you speech. Cue the dramatic entrance.
The sanguine patriarch and his wife rush in like it is a soap opera finale, crying enough to fill a lake because their daughter is finally awake.
It is a wholesome family moment, but Warren looks like he is ready to leave. Even the omniscient one, Manhwa, is impressed. He praises Warren for surviving a direct intervention with a human soul without turning his brain into mush. Seriously, most people would be dead, but Warren is just built different. Now that the damsel is saved, it is time for business.
Warren reminds the old man about their bargain.
He needs that barrier to suppress the psycho-demonic master living rent-free in his body before things get messy. Manhwa agrees, but tells him to keep his pants on. Setting up a seal this complex takes a day or two. So now Warren is stuck at the estate with nothing to do but look handsome and plot his next move. Before the old man leaves, he drops a spicy little warning. He whispers that when two souls get that intimate, a lingering sense of closeness remains. Basically, he is telling Warren he might have accidentally started a romance.
Warren is visibly flustered, dismissing the teasing like a total tsundere.
But as he finds a quiet spot to think, his brain starts connecting the dots about the future one supreme and the crazy path he needs to take. He realizes a shocking pattern.
The Sanguine clan, the Soul Origin sect, and the Immortal Paradise House were all visited by He Kiel Ryung in his past life. This is not a coincidence, it is a roadmap to godhood. A lightning bolt of realization hits him.
Every single one of these clans practices a martial art specifically designed to split the mind or soul.
Our boy just cracked the code on how to handle the ultimate power. He finally figures out how the legendary master mastered the tome without exploding.
He deliberately split his mind into two to manage the conflicting energies of yin and yang separately.
It is genius, and it is also insane.
To master the tome himself, Warren knows he needs the left-right split mind art. And where is that kept?
At the Immortal Paradise House, guarded by the beautiful and deadly Cho Wei. Talk about a dangerous field trip. He pulls out the golden plaque he looted earlier. This is not just a piece of gold. It is his VIP ticket to meeting the sect leader. He is already planning his next heist while everyone else is sleeping. Meanwhile, in the garden, Yusiel is watching him pace around like a total stalker.
She completely misinterprets his deep strategic thinking as him worrying about when to propose to her.
Girl, the delusion is real.
Yohi shows up to pop her bubble with some bad news.
Young Master Peng is arriving tomorrow, and he is a major headache. Looks like Warren is not the only one with problems to deal with. Unaware of the girl drama, Warren decides to test his current output. He discovers he can now draw out 30 years' worth of the demonic master's energy at will.
He is basically a walking nuke at this point.
But there is a catch.
The strain on his body is absolutely brutal.
Without that barrier and the split mind technique, he is walking a razor's edge between becoming a god and self-destructing in a blaze of glory.
He is standing there shirtless in the garden, flexing those muscles and looking like a snack, when a soft voice interrupts his training. It is the lady he just saved, and she is definitely liking what she sees. Sangwon Mijong is standing there, eyes lingering on his physique and scars.
The intimacy the fortune teller predicted is already kicking in. Warren is surprised, but let us be real, he knew his magnificent body would cause problems eventually.
She praises the moon and then immediately compliments his physique.
The tension is thick enough to cut with a sword.
It looks like our hero just gained another fan, whether he wanted one or not.
Imagine saving a high-tier waifu and getting paid in top-secret gossip.
Warren is chilling in the garden when Sangwon Mijong decides to drop some serious intel as a down payment for her life debt. She warns him that the big guns from the Pang and Seomun clans are rolling in tomorrow, and things are about to get messy. Mijong is not just a pretty face, she is teasing Warren, letting him know that while this info is gold, the life of a Sangwon daughter is way too expensive to be settled with just one warning. She basically tells him she is going to owe him big time and promises to repay him properly later.
Talk about a long-term investment.
Before she disappears into the night, Mijong gets all serious for a second. She tells Warren to stop acting like his actions are weighed down by guilt just because he had some ulterior motives. She is basically saying, look, you saved me, and that is what counts.
Stop being such a dramatic emo about it.
She validates his inner hero, reminding him that risking your life for someone else is a big deal regardless of the reason.
It is rare to see a character actually call out the MC for overthinking his good deeds, but Mijong is clearly built different.
As she floats away like a literal goddess, she leaves him with a brand new title that sounds straight out of a legend, Flying Dragon Sword Hero. Warren is standing there under the moonlight, probably wondering if he just got a promotion or a target on his back.
The narrative shifts because our boy has a literal ghost in his machine.
Warren consults with Nan Myingwak, the so-called omniscient one, who finally looks into Warren's soul to see what kind of squatter is living there.
This is not going to be a simple take 2 pills and call me in the morning type of situation.
Myingwak drops the bombshell. Warren is afflicted by the spirit possession technique of the Maoshan sect.
This is not some low-level haunting. It is a forbidden art designed to completely erase the host's soul and turn their body into a meat puppet for someone else.
The old man is actually impressed Warren is still standing and hasn't turned into a mindless zombie yet.
He notes that while Warren is still in the driver's seat, this parasitic entity is slowly nibbling away at his existence bit by bit. It is like having a spiritual tapeworm that wants to steal your identity.
Warren asks the million-dollar question, can we stop this soul-eating freak?
Myingwak says yes, but there is a catch.
The ritual required is the most dangerous thing he has ever attempted, and the success rate is basically a rounding error. It is a you might die trying to not die kind of deal. Myingwak adds a bit of savage shade, saying it shouldn't be too hard for someone as reckless as Warren.
If you are crazy enough to risk your life for a total stranger you just met, surely a suicidal ritual is just another Tuesday, right?
The old man's sarcasm is top tier.
Just as the atmosphere gets heavy, it is shattered by a wild Jagal Yohi.
She storms onto the bridge and grabs Warren like he owes her money, screaming about him neglecting his promise. This girl has zero boundaries and even less chill, and poor Warren is just caught in the middle.
She frantically reminds him of their deal to play fake lovers because the troublesome young masters from the other clans have finally arrived. She is basically using Warren as a human shield against her unwanted suitors.
The fake relationship trope is in full swing, and Warren is the designated simp blocker. Later, Warren is chilling in his guest quarters, and he is feeling a massive pang of broke boy inferiority. The Sanguine clan's guest rooms are more extravagant than his entire past life's merchant union headquarters.
He is realizing that in this world, there are rich people, and then there are sanguine rich people. But he can't focus on the fancy decor for long because the real threats are here.
He starts doing some mental prep, recalling the legend of Peng Jiaoke. This guy is not someone you want to meet in a dark alley, or a well-lit hall, for that matter.
Warren shudders thinking about the Blade Tiger Dragon, who becomes a master of the 5-tiger severing blade in the future.
We are talking about a man who built his entire reputation on extreme violence and overwhelming power. Jiaoke is basically a human natural disaster waiting to happen. A servant interrupts his tactical breakdown to summon him to the main hall. The big meeting is finally happening, and the representatives of the great clans are all lined up like they are ready for a martial arts fashion show. Warren has to put on his big boy pants and face the music.
He enters the room and sees a lineup of high-level threats. Seo Mun Seosil and Seoyan are there, looking elegant but deadly, alongside Peng Kielrian and the infamous Jiaoke himself.
The tension in the room is thick enough to cut with a spirit-possessed sword.
Sangwon Joyang introduces Warren with all the dignity he can muster, presenting him as the heir to the Tianzhong clan and the hero who saved his sister.
It is a respectful intro, but you just know someone is going to ruin the vibe in 3, 2, 1. And right on cue, one of the guests lets out a rude, scoffing laugh. This clown sneers that he has never even heard of some country bumpkin clan in his life. The disrespect is off the charts, and Warren's flying dragon patience is about to be tested. Imagine being so arrogant that you call an ancient clan a bunch of country bumpkins to their face. This long-haired clown Seo Mun Yuan clearly didn't get the memo that barking at the MC is a one-way ticket to a hospital bed.
Warren isn't even bothered. He hits back with a smile so sharp it could cut glass, telling Yuan that if he hasn't heard of the Tianzhong clan, it's only because he's too ignorant and inexperienced to know what's actually happening in the world.
The purple-haired siblings are fuming, but Peng Qiaorian steps in to play referee before the tea starts flying.
She's watching the drama with a smirk, clearly enjoying the fact that someone finally told the local brat to sit down.
Redhead Mommy Qiaorian notes that a man with such a witty tongue usually carries a blade that's just as sharp.
She's already sensing that Warren isn't the weakling everyone thinks he is, and honestly, her intuition is the only thing working in this room. We get a quick look at the big names gathered here, but let's be real, most of them are just high-tier background fodder waiting to be outshined by our boy.
The tension is thick enough to choke a horse, and Yuan isn't done being a menace yet. Yuan decides to pivot his attack to Jagal Yohi, maliciously asking if she's got any shame for hanging out with a man who was supposed to marry her own sister. He's really trying to play the morality police while looking like a total tool. Yohi doesn't even blink.
She smoothly lies through her teeth, claiming the engagement was already broken just to keep their little ruse alive.
Meanwhile, Warren is realizing that this whole drama is just fuel for the jealous fire burning in Peng Zhouke's eyes.
RMC realizes he's basically been drafted as a fake boyfriend to trigger Zhouke, who clearly has a massive crush on Yohi.
It's a classic case of a devilish girl using the MC as a human shield, and Warren is just there for the snacks.
Yuan continues his trash talk marathon, claiming Warren's house is in such a decline that it's basically a failing business.
He thinks associating with a failing clan is beneath a noble lady, showing off his top-tier elitist brain rot.
The taunts are getting unapologetic now, and the rest of the group is just watching the train wreck.
Yuan really thinks he's the main character of this story, but Warren is about to hit him with a reality check from the future.
Time to drop the bomb. Warren publicly exposes Yuan's dirty laundry, revealing that his previous engagement fell apart because he was caught cheating. Imagine being an elitist and a scrub at the same time. The embarrassment is palpable. Yuan's composure doesn't just slip, it shatters into a million pieces. He's looking like a psycho now, claiming that Warren just insulted his entire clan.
Bro, you're the one who got caught with another woman, don't bring your family into this.
The table gets flipped and the challenge is issued. Yuan wants a duel to settle the score, but Warren is just sighing internally. He wanted to bait the big tiger Giok, but he accidentally hooked a worthless, buzzing fly instead. They move to the dueling grounds, and Yohi is actually annoyed.
She realizes her plan backfired because this weakling Yuan took the bait before the actual target could.
Now Warren has to waste energy on a warm-up fight. On the sidelines, the Peng siblings are placing their bets.
Zhouke thinks it might be an even match because Yuan was raised on premium elixirs and top-tier training.
Little does he know, Warren has the power of future spoilers on his side. Yuan draws his blade and starts yapping about his legion-conquering technique. He's convinced that his elite resources and fancy titles are enough to crush a country bumpkin.
The level of delusion here is actually impressive.
The fight is about to start and Yuan is still boasting about being the fastest of the fast. He claims he'll riddle Warren with holes before he can even blink. It's the classic speedster trope that's about to get absolutely dismantled. To maximize the disrespect, Warren literally closes his eyes and stands perfectly still. He's basically telling Yuan that he doesn't even need his vision to deal with a fraud like him.
The crowd is losing their minds at the sheer audacity.
Yuan goes into a blind rage, launching his super speed assault.
He's convinced he's already won and plans to put a hole in the MC to teach him his place. Too bad for him. Warren's senses are on a completely different level. In a moment of pure hype, Warren blocks the invisible strike without even opening his eyes.
Yuan's face goes from arrogant to horrified in 0.5 seconds as he realizes his absolute speed is actually just slow motion to our boy.
No more playing around. Warren counters with the fighting dragon fist, burying his knuckles deep into Yuan's stomach. The impact is so massive it looks like a bomb went off, sending the noble air flying across the arena. One single exchange was all it took. Yuan is literally embedded in a stone wall, looking like a discarded ragdoll. The crowd is stunned into a silence so deep you could hear a pin drop. The country bumpkin just one shot to genius.
The trash has been cleared, but the real boss is finally stepping up.
Peng Jiaoke is done waiting on the sidelines.
His eyes are burning with battle lust as he requests a duel, finally recognizing Warren as a predator worth hunting.
Just when you think the drama is over, This massive tank from the Hebei Peng clan steps up.
Peng Jiaoke does not care about the crowd's heart attacks. He just wants a piece of the man who turned the Xiaoman heir into a total joke. Our boy Jiaoke admits he has been swinging a blade since he was in diapers, but even he could barely track Xiaoman's speed. Seeing Warren dismantle that speed perfectly has his warrior spirit doing backflips of excitement. Warren looks into this guy's eyes and does not see a villain, just a total martial arts nerd who is way too pure-hearted for his own good. It is the kind of obsession that either makes you a legend or gets you killed, and Warren is here for it.
Warren decides to be a good sport and accepts the request.
He is actually curious about the legendary blade of the Peng clan.
The crowd is losing their minds because watching the flying dragon face off against the Blade Tiger is the peak entertainment they did not pay for.
The atmosphere shifts instantly as these two monsters face off.
Jiaoke is not holding back for a second and announces he is testing a secret art his clan has been cooking up for ages. It is the kind of hype that makes the local simps tremble in their boots. It is called the Five Tigers Severing Blade, and by the look on Jiaoke's face, things are about to get extremely loud and violent. He is chasing the path of dominance, and he is ready to bulldoze anything in his way. The soaring Dragon Emperor's sword meets the path of dominance. The air literally screams as they clash, and the shockwave is enough to make every spectator regret standing so close to the action. This is not a spar, it is a natural disaster. The impact sounds like a literal lion's roar shaking the foundations of the building. Jiaoke is putting everything into this, pushing the limits of what a human should be able to do with a piece of metal. It is raw, unadulterated power versus Warren's calculated elegance. Warren is internally sweating buckets right now.
He realizes that if he had not snagged that secret heart method from the Zhang siblings, this one exchange would have turned him into a floor mat.
This tank is hitting way harder than expected. The visuals are insane, with a blue tiger and a golden dragon fighting for dominance in the sky. It is a spectacle that has everyone paralyzed, including the Xiaoman heir who is probably reconsidering his entire life's career choices right now.
Warren is digging deep, using every ounce of his skill to redirect the crushing weight of Jiaoke's attacks.
One wrong move, and he is not just losing a duel, he is losing his ability to walk. The pressure is absolutely suffocating for everyone watching.
Just as things reach a boiling point, Jiaoke suddenly pulls back his blade.
He is breathing like he just ran a marathon and admits that if they keep going, his wicked desire to win will turn this friendly spar into a funeral for one of them.
The internal monologue is real as Warren realizes just how close he came to the edge.
That heart method saved his life, but he has to play it cool, while the arena looks like a construction site behind him. Everyone is just staring in shock while the spectators watch from the sidelines like a proud, yet terrified, audience. The battle between the tiger and the dragon was so intense, it literally cracked the walls of the courtyard. Jiaoke is actually a total sweetheart after the fight, asking Warren for an honest review of his performance. He wants to know if his speed and aura were dominant enough, looking like a student waiting for his test results. The arrogance of the Xiaoman heir has been completely silenced by this display of raw power. Even the toughest warriors in the crowd are fired up after seeing such a high-level exchange. It is a true contest between legends.
Warren uses his cheat code future knowledge to realize that the Five Tiger style is actually a dangerous hybrid of Peng arts and demonic techniques.
It is a recipe for disaster, and Jiaoke has no idea he is playing with fire. Deciding not to crush the guy's spirit completely, Warren drops a subtle hint about a flaw in the combination. Jiaoke is so impressed by Warren's insight that he is basically ready to build a shrine in his honor and invites him over for tea anytime. As the crowd thins out, Warren reflects on the similarities between their styles. He sensed the same mistake they have been contemplating for a while. It is a moment of true martial arts bonding that Jiaoke will never forget. The realization hits that Jiaoke has not fully combined the two styles yet. Warren is playing 4D chess with his knowledge of the future, while everyone else is just trying to figure out how he survived that tiger-sized beating. Warren suggests they talk more in a quiet place later.
Jiaoke is stunned that our boy noticed the imperfections so quickly, deepening his respect for the flying dragon sword hero.
This man is making allies faster than he makes enemies. Jaegal Yohi slides in with some fake praise, noting how much Warren has improved.
She mentions bringing him into the Union, which is a massive red flag.
Warren is not stupid. He knows the Jaegal clan is plotting something massive.
Warren plays it cool, but his mind is racing.
The mention of the Union confirms every suspicion he had about the political snake pit he is currently drowning in. But first, he has a much bigger problem inside his own head to deal with. Limping away from the drama, Warren heads to see the Omniscient One. It is finally time for the high-stakes ritual to handle the entity messing with his soul. This is not just a checkup, it is a battle for his very consciousness. Manhwa has the ritual tools laid out and looks dead serious. He warns Warren that one slip-up in his mental focus could cause irreversible damage. Basically, if you blink, you might wake up as a vegetable or worse. The preparations are finally complete. Warren is told that this procedure is unprecedented.
He has to be sturdier than he ever thought possible.
The tension is high enough to snap a sword as they prepare to dive into the deep end of his soul. Warren is handed a suspicious-looking red potion that is supposed to help him achieve his goal.
He chugs it down like a champ because at this point, he has already survived a dragon and a tiger. So what is a little soul-searching?
Manhwa explains that this time he is going directly into Warren's realm of consciousness to meet that soul face-to-face.
He places a hand on Warren's head, and the atmosphere gets heavy enough to crush a normal person's spirit.
As the ritual begins, the scene shifts to a red-tinted realm of pure mental energy.
Warren has to do as he desires and maintain his grip on reality while Manhwa dives into the darkness of his subconscious.
Suddenly, the scene shifts to a dark forest where a luxurious carriage from the Sky Ocean Merchant Union arrives.
It is a complete vibe shift that screams trouble, and Warren finds himself standing in the middle of a nightmare from his past. A figure steps out looking like they are about to die of boredom. They look at Warren and drop the most insulting nickname from his past life, calling him the Hog of the Merchant Union. The disrespect is legendary. The figure reveals himself as young Warren, the true master of the Merchant Union. The cliffhanger is absolutely brutal as Warren is forced to face the ghost of who he used to be in the most savage way possible.
Imagine waking up in the dark abyss of your own mind just to have a ghost call you a fat hog.
Our boy Warren is face-to-face with a legendary hater who uses his old nickname, the Hog of the Sky Ocean Merchant Union, just to get under his skin. This spirit is a total savage, sneering at Warren's glow-up and claiming that even if he looks like a warrior now, he is still just a fat merchant playing dress-up on the inside.
He really thinks Warren is just some lucky simp who hit the gym.
The entity asks if Warren is addicted to his worthless fame and fancy new titles, but Warren is not having it. He shuts the old man up by dropping his government name, Demonic Master Suk Jaemyong.
The disrespect is palpable and I am here for it.
Warren decides it is time to dismantle this ghost's massive ego.
He reminds the so-called legend that when they first met, the great demonic master was not acting very master-like.
In fact, he was looking pretty pathetic.
We get a glimpse of the past where the legendary master was actually running for his life from a bunch of masked assassins. Warren twists the knife, calling him a helpless parasite who cannot even move an inch without permission.
Talk about a reality check. That insult definitely hit a nerve because Suk Jaemyong absolutely snaps. He starts gatekeeping Warren's success, claiming that all this God-given talent and rapid growth is nothing but a big fat lie. He is basically calling Warren a fraud to his face. The demonic master goes full narcissist, taking credit for everything from Warren's survival to his overwhelming chi. According to him, Warren is not the main character because of effort, but solely because this grumpy spirit is hitching a ride in his soul. He even claims Warren's heightened eye techniques are his doing.
It is the ultimate toxic relationship where the ghost takes all the credit for the work while Warren just stands there looking confused.
This guy's ego is bigger than the entire Murim. Suk Jaemyong laughs at Warren's plan to just steal his energy, explaining that the spirit possession technique binds soul and chi into one messy package. If Warren wants the power, he has to hand over the keys to his body. It is a total trap. Warren leans into his merchant roots, acknowledging that you have to sacrifice to gain, but then he drops the mic.
He declares he is no longer just a businessman. He is the heir of the Tianzhong clan and the soaring dragon hero.
The hype is real. With a cold gaze, Warren draws his blade and tells the ancient ghost that a true martial artist does not use words to claim what is theirs, they use steel. He challenges Suk Jaemyong to a blade dance, and honestly, the old ghost looks a bit rattled. We flash back to some expert advice from Nan Manhwa, who explains that the realm of consciousness is a world built entirely on potential and raw emotion.
It is basically a dream world where your imagination is your only limit.
Warren was given a secret Bay cult elixir to help him out.
As long as his will does not falter, he will be invincible within his own mind.
The glowing symbol on his forehead is like a cheat code for this mental boss fight.
Back in the mindscape, Suk Jaemyong spots the symbol and scoffs, thinking Waren's preparations are laughable.
Waren launches a confident strike, but he is in for a rude awakening when the ghost treats his attack like a minor inconvenience. Waren is shook when the demonic master casually shatters his sword chi. It turns out the old man did the impossible by fusing the soaring Dragon Emperor sword with the Taiji Depth Heaven Tome. He is using Waren's own potential against him. Suk Jaemyong mocks the boy's arrogance, preparing to crush him like a bug. Waren realizes he is outclassed in raw technique, but he refuses to let fear break his focus. He knows he needs something bigger than just a fancy sword move. The mental battle is getting intense as Waren closes his eyes and starts to visualize.
He thinks of a small fish fighting against a violent torrent, struggling to swim up a massive waterfall just to reach the sky.
It is a classic legend with a high-stakes twist.
Channeling the Dragon Gate legend, Waren manifests the image of his finished self, a majestic dragon representing his future destiny.
He charges forward with the weight of his entire potential, clashing with the demonic master in a final, explosive showdown. You think you can just block a legendary attack and walk away? Our boy Waren is about to learn that mental health days do not exist in a high-stakes death match. The red energy is hitting the fan, and it is absolutely chaotic. Waren is huffing like he just ran a marathon in a sauna.
He realizes his inner chi is leaking faster than a cheap faucet, and if he goes dry here in the spirit realm, his real body is basically a defenseless loot box for the vultures.
Enter Suk Jaemyong, the demonic master, who is currently having a total meltdown because a literal brat is making him work for his paycheck. Look at that ego. It is bigger than the massive spirit dragons he is summoning just to flex. This guy really wants us to know he is a certified psycho.
He starts yapping about his bloody history, where his only personality trait was making sure everyone who tried to stop him ended up 6 feet under.
He is screaming his lungs out, offended that a mere merchant is standing in his way. Sorry, Grandpa. Did the kid forget to pay his respect your elders tax?
The sheer audacity of this old ghost is actually hilarious.
Cue the edgy flashback montage. He killed the catchers, the chasers, and the blockers. Basically, if you breathed in his general direction during his prime, you were getting a one-way ticket to the afterlife. He survived by being the biggest monster in the room. He refuses to accept the indignity of struggling against a businessman.
He thinks his survival instincts are top tier while Waren is just driven by greed.
Talk about a massive case of projection from a literal spirit. The spiritual pressure is getting insane. We have got red dragons clashing with gold ones in a void that is about to explode. This is not just a mental battle anymore. It is a straight-up kaiju movie happening inside Waren's head. Grandpa decides to drop the base with a momentum strike. He is using pure spiritual weight to try and flatten our protagonist like a pancake. It is a classic bully move, trying to crush the kid under his own pressure. But Waren is not just some random NPC. He recognizes the Taiji Depth Heaven Tome being used against him. He realizes the old man is not just a brute. He is a master who has analyzed Waren's own potential to fuel these attacks. The demonic master starts doing some mid-fight philosophy.
He figures out that the upper dantian is where all the human potential is stored.
He is basically trying to hack Waren's cheat codes in real time to gain the upper hand. He finally understands why Waren learns martial arts at Mach speed. The kid has limitless potential, and it is driving the ghost absolutely insane with jealousy. Watching a legend get salty over a teenager's talent is the highlight of my day. Despite being the underdog, Waren tells the ghost to clench his teeth. Then he delivers a counter-strike so clean, it probably reset the old man's internal clock. Talk about a much-needed vibe check for the demonic master. Now we are in a brutal war of attrition.
It is a game of chicken to see who breaks first, the ancient, stolen energy of a dead legend or the sheer, unyielding stubbornness of a human who simply refuses to quit.
The master is genuinely bewildered. He is throwing bone-shattering violence at the kid, but Waren keeps getting back up like a budget Terminator.
Grandpa is visibly shook, and I am absolutely here for this level of resilience.
He is yapping about how no human should be able to keep their will intact after this much punishment. He is trying to find logic in a protagonist's plot armor, which is honestly his first and biggest mistake of the night. Waren stands up yet again, looking like he just crawled out of a meat grinder. The master is desperate now, demanding to know what kind of dark fuel is keeping this engine running when he should be a puddle on the floor.
Is it rage?
Is it some toxic, lingering attachment to a pathetic past?
The old man is trying to project his own miserable life onto our hero.
But Warren just wipes the blood off his lip like it is a minor inconvenience.
The big reveal is here.
It is not about the past at all. Warren is fighting for the future. He lists his family, his followers, and of course, Yanawa. He raises his sword for one last push because he has a future to build and zero time for ghosts. Imagine being so locked in that even when a demonic entity is trying to shred your soul, you just stand back up like it is a Monday morning.
Warren tells this ancient ghost that he is moving forward no matter what, and the demonic master is actually losing his mind at how rational this brat is. The old ghost starts laughing like a literal maniac because he has finally realized Warren is a merchant to the bone.
Instead of crying about his fate, our MC is calculating the best way to profit from a haunting, and honestly, we love a king who knows his worth.
Since they are already roommates in the same body, the demonic master decides to stop the violence and make a business proposal. He offers to stay and lend his insane power as a personal bodyguard, but there is a catch. Warren has to find him a fresh new body to possess later. The ghost tries to lowball him by offering 1/3 of his inner energy as a reward, but Warren hits him with a stone-cold no immediately. Our MC is not here for the budget version of power. He is looking for the premium subscription or nothing at all.
Warren demands half of the entity's energy, and the ghost is absolutely fuming, calling him a vicious bastard before begrudgingly agreeing.
It is official. They have signed a contract in blood and attitude, and the demon is now Warren's reluctant energy bank.
The shopping list for the new body is super specific. It needs to be young and physically strong, but the mind has to be a total wreck.
The demonic master needs someone easy to dominate, basically looking for a high-tier vessel with zero mental defenses.
Warren agrees to find some piece of trash human that nobody will miss, which is a pretty savage way to handle a recruitment drive. The ghost tells him to get lost because he is tired of looking at his face, and Warren finally begins the journey back to the waking world.
As he leaves, the ghost reveals that half of his energy is a staggering 180 years worth of power, which is basically a nuke in human form. He is secretly hoping Warren becomes a power-hungry addict, so the demon can eventually take over everything. Warren snaps back to reality and immediately feels like he got hit by a spiritual freight train, gasping for air as his body tries to adjust. The sense of loss is overwhelming, and he looks like he just survived a 1v1 with the Grim Reaper.
Manhwa rushes over, looking like a worried parent, and asks if the crazy negotiation with the soul actually worked.
Warren confirms he made a deal because he couldn't erase the entity, and the monk realizes this soul is way more dangerous than they anticipated.
The monk shares some big brain insights, suggesting that since the soul is stuck there, they need to weaken it or split its power. He mentions a wild theory about confining the soul in a second dantian, which sounds like martial arts science fiction to most people. Creating a second dantian is supposed to be impossible because it usually leads to your internal energy turning into a chaotic mess. If you mess this up, you don't just lose your powers. You basically explode from the inside out in a glorious display of failure.
While the monk is busy saying it is impossible, Warren is already thinking 5 steps ahead because he has the future spoilers.
He remembers a legendary master who actually pulled it off, proving that our MC is about to do the impossible just to flex on the world.
The strategy session gets cut short when a blood-soaked messenger from the Jagal clan comes stumbling in like a background character in a horror movie.
He is barely holding it together, and the sight of him covered in wounds immediately kills the mood.
The messenger drops a massive bombshell. The demonic sects have launched a surprise ambush at the inn where Warren's group was resting.
Warren's face goes pale as he realizes his delay at the Sanguine estate might have just signed a death warrant for his loyal subordinates.
This wasn't just a small skirmish. It was a full-blown massacre where the villains didn't even spare ordinary civilians.
The messenger describes a scene of absolute carnage, and Warren's blood starts to boil at the thought of his people being treated like target practice. Only this one guy managed to escape to bring the news, and Warren realizes his entire group is currently surrounded by bloodthirsty psychos.
He doesn't even wait for a plan. He just starts walking toward the exit with a look that says someone is about to get deleted. He tries to leave alone to face the ambush, but the Jagal clan isn't about to let him have all the vengeance.
Yohi steps up and tells him that since her clan member is also in danger, she is joining the raid whether he likes it or not.
Warren tries to be the lone wolf, but these rising stars of the Orthodox sects have too much pride to just sit back and watch. They argue that they can't call themselves prestigious if they let the demonic sect run rampant in their backyard. Peng Jiaoke steps forward with a smug grin, clearly itching for a chance to test his blade against some actual villains. Werin finally accepts the help, giving a formal salute to the squad that is about to ride out and cause some serious property damage. The squad looks like a high-tier gacha pull as they prepare to move out, and Jiaoke tosses Werin a mysterious item for the road. He says it will be useful, and Werin grips it tightly, knowing he is going to need every advantage he can get. As they gallop toward the inn, Werin is drowning in guilt, blaming himself for spending too much time playing politics while his team was bleeding. He is gritting his teeth so hard they might crack, silently pleading for his subordinates to stay alive for just a few more minutes.
We flash over to the inn, and it is a total nightmare. Bodies are everywhere, and the survivors are backed into a corner.
A group of massive, club-wielding psychos is closing in on Werin's group, and it looks like the red flag villains are ready to finish the job. Imagine waking up in a second life and realizing your first one was a complete dumpster fire because you were too busy being a bitter, frail, emo kid.
Werin is riding like a madman toward the inn, haunted by memories of his previous life where his toxic attitude kept him away from the only people who actually gave a damn about him.
Talk about bad timing. In his past life, the Tianzhong clan was completely deleted just as Werin was about to be sold off as a live-in son-in-law.
While he was being traded like a used car, his family was getting slaughtered and his legacy turned into literal ashes.
Local man discovers that being a shut-in doesn't protect you from a clan-wide massacre. But wait, it gets more tragic.
Instructor Mo Byung didn't just fight, she earned the hardcore nickname Dragon Bloodflower because she was literally shedding tears of blood while trying to rebuild the ruins of their clan. She was out there doing the heavy lifting while Werin was probably off somewhere moping about his lack of martial arts talent.
This is the kind of trauma that sticks with you.
Mo Byung fought until her last breath, and the rising ghost blades met a similarly brutal end. Werin is sweating bullets right now because he knows if he doesn't make it to that inn in time, his loyal master and his brothers in arms are destined to become corpse-flavored statistics all over again.
History is trying to repeat itself, and Werin is not having it. He is pushing his horse to the limit, terrified that he is already too late to stop the slaughter. The fear is real, guys. He knows exactly how many ways this can go wrong, and every single one involves a lot of his friends ending up 6 feet under. Enter the ultimate hype man, Peng Jiaoke.
Seeing Werin spiraling into despair, Joke yells at him to stop acting like a simp for tragedy and trust his subordinates.
He reminds Werin that the warriors chosen by the Flying Dragon Sword hero aren't some low-tier mobs that fall over after one hit.
They are built different, so start acting like it. While they are racing through the night, Jaegal Yohi drops some majorly bad news. The attackers aren't just random thugs, they are the 3 demonic heavens. We are talking about the Blood Demon Castle and the Holy Heaven Cult. Basically, the Avengers of the demonic world have shown up to ruin the party, and they didn't bring any snacks. The realization hits him like a freight train. The Union never formed in his previous life because of these exact interference tactics.
If he doesn't break this cycle now, the entire world is going to be governed by people who think demonic is a personality trait.
It is time to stop the history books from repeating their worst chapters. Back at the inn, things are looking absolutely cooked. The Jaegal clan's defensive enchantments are shattering like glass under the relentless assault of the demonic practitioners. It is basically a magical breach and clear, and the good guys are on the wrong side of the door. The barrier is failing, and the monsters are coming for dinner.
Inside the crumbling shield, Master Mo Byung is looking like a total girl boss, even if she is covered in enough blood to paint a house. She is leading the defense with the Ghost Blades and the Zhang siblings, but let's be real, they are being pushed to their absolute limits.
It is a desperate last stand, and the odds are looking 0 to none. The defenders are more wounded than a protagonist's ego after losing a fight. They are bleeding out, exhausted, and surrounded, but they refuse to yield. They have formed a literal human shield around the young heir, Jaegal Bayuk. It is peak loyalty or peak stupidity, depending on how much you value your internal organs. These guys are ready to die. They are making those dramatic, if we fall, tell my story speeches while staring down a horde of demonic killers.
It is intense, it is bloody, and it is exactly the kind of drama Werin is trying to prevent.
The enemy is winding up for the final killing blow, and it looks like it is game over for our heroes.
Just when you think it is time to roll the credits on their lives, Werin's group crashes onto the battlefield like a literal meteor strike.
Their arrival sends a massive shockwave through the demonic ranks. Imagine being a demonic cultist about to finish your quest, and suddenly the server's top-tier players log in right on top of you.
Big yikes.
Ping Giok isn't here to play games. He roars a command to the other heirs, offering to carve a bloody path through the enemy lines.
He is basically telling Warren to stop worrying about the trash mobs and go save his master.
It is time for some high-level teamwork, and the demonic practitioners are about to find out why you don't mess with the rising stars. Warren doesn't need to be told twice.
He accepts the assist and unleashes the bamboo forest flying dragon stride. He becomes a literal blue blur, moving so fast that the demonic fodder can't even track him with their eyes.
He is cutting through the chaos like a hot knife through butter, heading straight for the inn. He is coming for his master, and he is not in a talking mood. The speed is insane. Warren is jumping off bamboo trees and slicing through anyone dumb enough to stand in his path.
This isn't the frail kid from the past life anymore. This is a man on a mission to save the woman who died for him once.
If you are a demonic cultist right now, your best bet is to play dead and hope he doesn't notice you. He is closing the distance in record time. Every step is a middle finger to his past failures. The flying dragon stride is living up to its name, turning Warren into a force of nature. He is not just fast, he is lethal.
The inn is finally in sight, and the demonic practitioners are starting to realize their easy ambush just turned into a boss fight.
Warren reaches the inn and it is an absolute bloodbath.
He doesn't slow down for a second, diving straight into the thick of it.
He is searching for Master M.O., his eyes glowing with the kind of intensity that makes villains rethink their life choices.
The rescue mission is officially in full swing, and Warren is the main event.
He finally spots them.
Master M.O. and the others are still alive, but barely.
Warren lands in the middle of the carnage like a guardian angel with a very sharp sword.
The look of relief on their faces is enough to make any viewer emotional, but there is no time for hugs yet.
The fight is just getting started, and the real threat is still lurking. High above the carnage, a sinister old man is watching the whole thing like it is a Netflix special. He is more amused than worried about the orthodox rising stars showing up. He notes that while the heirs of the Pung, Sangwon, and Seomun clans weren't in the original script, a spider's web is designed to catch any prey that wanders in. Talk about creepy old man vibes. This guy is the definition of a final boss. He decides to stop playing with his food and issues a chilling order.
He is deploying the elite Blood Dragon Corps. This isn't just an ambush anymore, it is a total annihilation mission. He wants every single hero dead, and he is sending in the big guns to make sure it happens.
The blood demon finally steps forward, wearing a cruel smile that says, "I am about to ruin your whole career." He is eager to see how these young heroes will despair when they face the true power of the demonic heavens.
Warren might have changed the past, but the future just got a lot bloodier.
Get ready, because the real nightmare is just beginning.
Look who finally decided to show up. Our main man lands right in the middle of a literal disaster zone, like he owns the place. His subordinates are looking like they just went 10 rounds with a meat grinder, and they are actually panicking, telling him to run because the enemy is way out of his league.
These guys are shaking in their boots, thinking our hero is about to take on the entire world solo.
It is the classic please save yourself trope, but Warren is not about that life.
He is out here giving out comfort while everyone else is busy losing their minds over how cooked they are.
Honestly, the emotional damage in the air is thicker than the plot armor. His people are clinging to him like he is the last life raft on the Titanic. It is sweet, sure, but we are in the middle of a war zone. People, keep your eyes on the prize and your hands on your swords.
Warren just gives them this smug little smirk and asks when he ever said he was here on his own.
Talk about a cold-blooded flex.
Just as he says that, the reinforcements start popping out of the shadows like they have been waiting for their cue in a high-budget drama. The squad is finally assembled, but don't get too excited yet. Just as things start looking up, a wave of pure, unadulterated killing intent washes over the area. It is so heavy it practically has a zip code, and it is coming straight from the hill nearby.
Warren realizes the situation is way worse than a simple ambush.
He is looking at the heirs of the Jagal, Sangwon, and Peng clans all gathered in one spot and realizes they have been played.
This is not a fight. It is a drive hunt designed to wipe out the future of the Orthodox factions. The realization hits him like a freight train.
The Jaegal clan was just the juicy worm on the hook used to lure every other big name into this slaughterhouse.
These villains really spent a lot of time on their interior decorating because they have turned this entire area into a giant grave.
Our boy is smart enough to know that if they don't move now, they are all getting buried together.
The enemy's plan is simple: destroy the Union before it even has a chance to form. It is a total pro-gamer move by the bad guys, and Warren is actually impressed by how thorough the trap is. Using the frequency whispering technique, because apparently he is a human radio now, Warren warns his allies to keep it cool. He tells them not to look up, but to feel that monstrous presence lurking on the hill. It is like a horror movie where the killer is just staring at you from the trailing. Up on that hill, we meet Guardian Joe and his boss, who is a total psycho.
Joe wants to strike while the iron is hot and everyone is clumped together, but the lady in charge is feeling a bit extra today. She wants to watch them struggle a bit more before she ends them. She literally calls our heroes jesters dancing on their own graves.
Talk about a major red flag.
This woman is getting a literal high off their despair, and even the Blood Dragon Corps leader is looking at her like, "Lady, you are actually disgusting."
The Corps leader tries to remind her that the Blood Demon himself gave them this mission, so maybe they should just get to the killing part.
But she is not hearing it.
She wants to do things her way, savoring every drop of fear like it is a fine wine. Psycho vibes are off the charts. Back at the inn, the heirs are suggesting standard defensive formations, but Warren shuts that down real quick.
He points out that the enemy waited for them to cluster up specifically because they already have the cheat codes to beat the Jaegal family's usual tactics.
Instead, he proposes something spicy: the Bamboo Garden Soul-Shattering Formation. It is a double-layered poison array that is basically the middle finger of defensive maneuvers. It is designed to help weaklings survive against monsters, and it is their only shot at not dying today. The only problem? They are at a random inn, not a pharmacy.
Everyone is looking around like, where are we supposed to get poison, Warren? And that is when our hero points his finger directly at Seomun Yuan.
The look on that guy's face is absolutely priceless. Yuan starts acting all offended, claiming a noble swordsman like him would never carry such underhanded toxins like those Tang Clan weirdos. He is doing the most, trying to protect his fake reputation while his literal life is on the line. What a total simp for his own image. Warren is not playing games and gets right in his face. He basically tells Yuan that he knows all his dirty little secrets and will leak the chat logs if he doesn't cough up the poison right now. It is a total blackmail for the greater good moment, and it is glorious. Cornered and terrified, Yuan finally cracks and pulls out a bag of deadly poison. He tries to claim it is just for research purposes, but nobody is buying that nonsense. The judgment from the crowd is so loud you can practically hear it. But hey, at least they have the goods now. Warren gives him a sarcastic, "Thanks for your contribution," and immediately takes charge. He starts barking orders to set up the poison walls and bamboo stakes. This is the same formation that once brought a whole agency back from the dead, so it better work some magic today. The formation clicks into place just as the hunters on the hill lose their patience.
The command is given, and the air is suddenly filled with enough bloodlust to drown a continent.
The Blood Dragon Corps is charging in, and the real nightmare is finally beginning.
It is go time. The villains are screaming for total annihilation, and our heroes are standing their ground behind a wall of poison and prayers. One wrong move, and everyone is becoming a permanent resident of this giant grave.
Let the chaos begin.
Jaegal tells herself to get a grip because crying in a basin of water is not exactly a high-tier cultivation technique. Just as she is about to snap out of it, a subordinate comes sprinting in like he is being chased by a ghost.
This guy is trembling harder than a leaf in a hurricane as he hands over an urgent letter from the clan. He even admits it arrived way too late, which is basically the theme song for this entire disaster.
Yohi rips the letter open and her face goes pale enough to rival the moon.
It turns out the attackers are not just random thugs, but the elite Blood Dragon Corps from the Blood Demon Castle. Talk about a massive red flag.
She realizes the horrific truth in an instant. This whole ambush was never a fair fight. It is a calculated trap where her brother, Jaegal Bayuk, is literally being used as live bait to lure the other clans into a meat grinder.
She starts screaming at her subordinate and herself for being so slow to catch on.
The realization that they have been played like a cheap fiddle is hitting her harder than any demonic palm strike ever could. Yohi rushes out into the night like a woman possessed, desperately praying that Warren and the others can survive long enough for her to fail at saving them. The guilt is eating her alive as she sprints toward the inn. Back at the besieged inn, the atmosphere is thicker than a psycho duke's obsession.
Every skilled martial artist on the scene is naturally looking at the Tianjin heir for leadership, which is a total vibe shift from his previous reputation.
Even the veteran warriors are wondering how this guy managed to get everyone to trust him so readily.
Werin is just standing there with main character energy, ready to turn this inn into a demonic graveyard.
Werin starts barking orders at Zhang Seok and the rest of the crew. He tells them their only job is to act as a safety net and catch anyone who collapses on the front lines, basically assigning them the role of combat medics.
He points out the terrain advantage to the group.
The inn is surrounded by a dense forest with only one entrance, which means the enemies have to squeeze through a bottleneck. It is basically a free loot zone if they play it right.
Werin reminds them all of his instructions.
He is not just fighting, he is playing a high-stakes game of chess where the pieces are actual human lives.
The enemies are coming, and they have no idea they are walking into a blender. Using a stick to draw in the dirt like a true strategist, Werin explains the positioning.
He is taking advantage of the terrain to force the demonic followers into the exact spot where he wants to delete them from existence.
The Jaegao clan will be chilling at the rear, waiting to activate the first formation. Once the enemies are deep enough, they will cut off the retreat and let the flanks crush them like a nutcracker. Internally, Werin is thanking his lucky stars that he spent his previous life studying military strategy as a merchant, who knew that being a nerd about trade routes and supply lines would actually save his life in a wuxiao world.
The battle begins with a roar as the demonic practitioners charge the entrance like mindless zombies.
Werin does not even blink as he signals the Jaegao disciples to activate the first layer of the trap. Chaos erupts as swords clash and blood starts flying.
The demonic followers think they are the hunters, but they are quickly realizing that the prey has teeth.
Werin is right in the thick of it, holding the line with cold precision.
The Blood Dragon Corps leader is losing his mind, cursing the fact that his men are getting slaughtered by a bunch of weak clans.
He decides to stop being a coward and charge in personally to break the stalemate. High above the carnage, the female guardian is watching the whole thing with a look of pure disgust.
She calls the leader an absolute idiot, noting that he does not even realize he was sent here to be a sacrificial pawn.
The pressure on the center is getting intense, and Master Mo Biaong is called in to plug the gaps before the formation collapses. Werin is holding his ground, waiting for the exact moment the enemy steps into the kill zone. Just a little more, just a little deeper. Werin is baiting them in with the patience of a saint.
The demonic leader is arrogant enough to think he is winning, which is always the first step to getting annihilated.
Suddenly, Werin screams the command for the formation to go live.
A devastating explosion rips through the demonic ranks, turning the vanguard into red mist in a matter of seconds.
It is a total wipeout.
The demonic leader is left standing there, looking like a complete clown as his army vanishes. But before the heroes can celebrate, a chill runs down Werin's spine. He realizes there is a much bigger shark in the water.
A figure descends from the sky like a fallen angel. She effortlessly blocks the formation's explosive power with nothing but her sheathed sword.
The sheer aura she is radiating silences the entire battlefield instantly. Werin is stunned into silence because he could not sense her at all.
This woman is on a completely different level of power.
She looks at the defenders with a cold, mocking smile that says you are all already dead. The Guardian looks down at the terrified martial artists and asks if this petty little trap is really all they have prepared.
It is the ultimate boss fight moment, and Werin's merchant brain is finally starting to panic. The dust is finally settling, and our boy Werin looks like he just saw a ghost.
He can't even process the fact that this woman just deleted the Jaegao clan's formation in one shot without him even sensing her approach.
Talk about a wake-up call. It is time to run for your lives. Werin starts screaming like his soul is leaving his body, ordering a full retreat. He tells everyone to ditch the outer formation and barricade themselves inside the inn before they all get turned into human confetti. Amidst the panic, Xiaoman Yuan is stumbling along, trying to play the gratitude card by thanking Werin for saving his skin.
But Werin is not here to make friends, coldly reminding this simp that he is only alive because he is a useful pawn for the future.
The reality of their situation finally breaks Yuan's tiny brain.
He actually has the audacity to grab Werin by the collar, crying like a baby about how they are all going to die a dog's death just because Werin wanted to play hero for some weaklings.
Waren's expression turns absolutely icy as he glares at this trembling coward.
He basically tells Yuan that laying hands on him is a massive mistake he should not make, even if they are standing on the edge of a cliff.
Shoving the trash noble aside, Waren turns his attention to the rest of the terrified squad.
He is not having any of that give up and die energy, asking them if they truly intend to rot in this miserable place like losers. Inside his head, Waren is basically his own hype man.
He is thinking about all the tasks he has left to finish and the destiny he has yet to claim.
There is no way he is letting his story end in some backwater dump. He roars at the group to snap out of it because the bad guys are already charging again. If they want to keep their heads attached to their necks, they better follow his next command to the letter. Time to bring out the big guns. Waren orders the activation of the Bamboo Garden soul-shattering formation and signals for the poison to be thrown. This is not a defense anymore. It is a straight-up death trap. Even Peng Jiaoke is catching the vibe now. He grits his teeth and joins the fray, declaring that he refuses to check out before he completes his blade arts. It is time to see if all that training actually paid off. The entire group stomps the ground in perfect unison to trigger the formation, releasing a massive cloud of dust and poison.
The Blood Dragon Corps is about to find out that charging blindly was a very bad idea.
The enemy fodder is completely lost in the sauce now. They are running at full speed but making zero progress because the spatial distortion of the formation is warping their reality like a bad trip.
It is way too late for the enemy commander to realize they walked into a blender.
He is screaming about a poison trap and telling his men to hold their breath, but the formation already has them in a death grip. The trap snaps shut and the elite demonic warriors start collapsing one by one.
With their dying breaths, they finally realize that they were already dead the moment they stepped into Waren's poisonous illusion.
Silence falls over the battlefield as the survivors stand there in total shock.
They are looking around asking if they really just won, unable to comprehend that they actually wiped out the legendary Blood Dragon Corps.
Cheers start erupting as the realization finally sinks in.
The allies are praising Waren's brilliant strategy, convinced that the nightmare is over and reinforcements are going to swoop in and save the day. But hold your horses, because a mocking voice from the shadows just shattered the celebration.
Someone has been watching the whole time, analyzing exactly how Waren used that double formation to slaughter her men.
The female guardian steps into the light, admitting that the strategy was quite impressive for a bunch of toys.
But as her eyes start glowing with a terrifying aura, she announces that the play is officially over.
The hope in the air just evaporated instantly. She releases her full power, revealing herself as a literal demonic master. This is a monster against whom no amount of clever tricks or poison will ever work.
As her energy explodes across the area, the survivors realize they just jumped from the frying pan into a literal volcano. The real boss has finally entered the chat, and she is not looking to take prisoners.
Waren stares down the ultimate red flag, knowing that one wrong move now means everyone gets erased. The gap between them is not just a distance, it is a whole different level of existence.
Darkness is literally swallowing our boy Waren whole after he tried to be a hero and block that insane sword chi.
He is face down in the dirt, but his internal roommate, the demonic master, is screaming like a Karen at a manager because he is not ready to go to the afterlife just yet. This ancient ghost is having a total meltdown because their souls are linked like a bad mobile data plan.
If Waren kicks the bucket, the master vanishes into nothingness, so he is forced to intervene before his host becomes a permanent part of the landscape.
Instead of saying thank you, Waren decides to be an absolute menace and demands even more chi. The demonic master is terrified, warning him that forcing more energy into his puny human frame is going to make him explode like a microwave steak. Does Waren care about his internal organs turning into confetti? Absolutely not.
He would rather risk bursting into a million pieces than stand there like a simp while people die in front of him.
He is basically telling physics to shut up and deal with it. He drops the ultimate disrespectful line to the ancient spirit, telling the ghost that if he is so scared of dying, he better put in the overtime to keep Waren's body from falling apart. It is a reckless gamble, but that is how our main character rolls. With the entity backseat driving his soul, Waren dodges a fatal strike by a literal hair.
He is moving like he is on a high-speed lag-free connection now, and Guardian Meng is starting to realize that this brat might actually be a problem.
Waren counters with the waterfall reverse dragon ascent, and the sheer audacity of it leaves everyone shook. Guardian Meng is standing there buffering, unable to comprehend how this mediocre kid suddenly evolved into a raid boss in the middle of a sentence.
Meng decides enough is enough and prepares to wipe everyone off the map, but Warren is playing 4D chess. He uses telepathy to slide into Peng Giok's DMs mid-fight, because why focus on one thing when you can multitask your way to victory? He drops the secret sauce for the 5-tiger severing blade, telling Peng that the key is mixing water and oil. It sounds like a cooking tip, but in the world of martial arts, it is the ultimate cheat code for controlling chi speed. Peng Jiaoke gets hit with a lightning bolt of realization. He finally understands that his clan's stuttering energy needs to flow like a turbulent current.
He is basically upgrading his operating system while the enemy is literally lunging at his throat.
Guardian Meng sees Warren is distracted and thinks she has a free kill.
Too bad for her. Warren unleashes the heavenly lightning dragon ascent, showing her that looking away mid-combat is only a mistake when the other guy isn't a total monster.
Warren screams at Peng to back off and digest his new power-up while he takes on the psycho lady alone.
It is a classic I will hold her off moment, but with 100% more edge and a much higher chance of someone losing a limb.
Meng is actually impressed for once and demands to know who this kid really is. Warren pulls the ultimate flex, proudly declaring himself the heir to the Tianzhong clan. The name drop hits harder than a truck, and the villain's ego just took a massive dent.
She recognizes his moves as the legacy of the hidden saint cult and gets a sadistic glint in her eyes.
Ending a legendary lineage personally?
That is exactly the kind of psycho hobby a high-ranking villain lives for.
She is ready to end the show right here. Just as she is about to strike, the air gets heavy and some manic laughter fills the clearing.
Peng Jiaoke steps back into the spotlight, and let's just say he is radiating an aura that says, "I am done being a side character." The Blade Tiger Dragon has officially entered the chat. Peng announces his blade is complete, and he is ready to die today as long as it is glorious. He even calls the enemies insects, which is a bold move for someone who was struggling 10 minutes ago.
In a total bromance moment, Peng asks Warren if they can be friends if they die in this bloodbath.
Warren gives him a cold, hard no that probably hurt more than a sword wound, but he follows it up with a smirk that changes the whole vibe. Warren explains that he is not interested in being friends with a corpse, and it is way too early for them to die anyway. It is the kind of high-energy hype that turns the tide of a battle before the first swing even connects. Suddenly, the ground starts shaking as the cavalry arrives. The Orthodox reinforcements have finally shown up, proving that Warren's insane gamble actually paid off.
The Blood Dragon Corps realized they just walked into a trap they can't escape.
Guardian Meng sees the writing on the wall and decides to dip.
She leaves Warren with an ominous "we will meet again" promise, which is villain speak for "I am going to haunt your dreams." She vanishes into the night like a coward.
As the adrenaline wears off, Warren finally collapses.
The eclipsed bamboo bloodbath is over, and the Blood Dragon Corps is officially toast.
This wasn't just a fight, it was the birth of two new legends in the martial world. The bamboo forest is stained red, but the victory belongs to the brats who refused to stay down. Peng and Warren might have survived, but the martial world is never going to be the same after what went down in the shadows tonight. As the sun starts to peek over the horizon, the survivors are being carted off. Warren is out cold, probably dreaming about all the chi he is going to demand from his ghost roommate next time things get spicy.
The chapter closes on the image of two heroes standing tall amidst the wreckage.
They destroyed a whole corps and lived to tell the tale.
This is just the beginning of their rise, and honestly, the villains should probably start updating their wills.